What is...
For credits.
I don't know what that means, to play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a... I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
What is up, everybody? It is your boy Lou Martinez, aka Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a Monday. Fireside chats with Big Chief Burrito, coming at you live on twitch.tv/2am Burrito. If you are a fest, like to get on the Twitch, facebook.com/2am Burrito, youtube.com/2am Burrito, any of the major streaming platforms. Go ahead and check us out. Give a like. Share the stream, please. Also, ask any questions you might have. Today, we're going to be talking with longtime collaborator of 2AM Burrito. Look at that face. And what do we call him? Actor, humanitarian, Mr. Jayce Venditti. I've known him for a while. We worked together on a couple of shows. So before we get to the interview, I want to play a couple of clips of my collaboration with Mr. Venditti. All right.
Maybe he should have stayed on his basketball court selling his shitty dime bags, instead of trying to come into one of our nightclubs, bothering our clientele.
Hey, baby Stallone, I got something for you. Watch your back when you leave here.
He called him Baby Stallone. Look at that. That's a diss. That's a diss. And here it is. Another scene from a movie we did a shit ton of years ago called Blacklisted with Mr. Jayce Venditti.
I gotta get on the phone with the boys in Youngstown before I can make a decision about our crew.
Fuck that! There is no way we're gonna work with these filthy spicks and moolies. Sharing our territory and our profits? You can have your answer right now.
Enzo.
Ooh, you're not allowed to say that, Jayce. Not allowed to say that in a movie. Let's see what else we got.
Boom. We got a winner. We got a winner. We got a winner. Go ahead. Hey, homie, what the fuck you thinking?
about to get your ass whooped.
What the fuck are you doing here, Hank? I don't have anything to say to you.
No, listen, Rosa, I just need a minute.
In a minute, we're gonna call you an ambulance. And do you think we have time for this shit?
Short fucking answer. No, we fucking don't!
Oh, look, over there. The Ultimate Warrior wants his steroids back.
Too soon.
Yeah, that Ultimate Warrior joke was definitely too soon. Well, Jayce is an actor. Like I said, he's got a bunch of stuff going on, and we had him on the old podcast that was a long ass time ago. And I said, man, come on, let's talk about the stuff that you got going on. And he's like, let's do it. So bring it on now. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jayce Venditti. How you doing, brother?
What's up?
There he is.
What's going on?
I had forgotten that clip. I was like, let me just pull up the clip with Jayce playing a racist, stereotypical mobster. But this was 2014 or something.
Wow.
That was forever ago, right?
Holy,
yeah.
Wow. I just realized I had no idea. Yeah, we've worked on honestly, I think I've worked more with I've worked on more projects with you as far as multitude of projects with an individual filmmaker than I have anybody else. I just realized. Probably
a lot. There's a lot that we've done.
Four or five things. Somewhere in there.
Well, let's jump right into it, man. What's keeping you busy now?
Oh man, COVID's keeping me busy. How weird is that? Ever since COVID started, things have been crazy. Booking a lot of commercials with a couple of different production companies down here, which is just keeping my head above water. Just finished my first feature, which drops is a lead, I should say, which drops in March. That's Night Hunter. I'm working on a really crazy series with George Jack right now. He's an actor, still actor, but turned director, writer, and he's got a really cool series called Last Chance, which is about journalism, about all the fake news going around there, and about I play a journalist who's, gung ho about honoring the truth. And then I have a couple other big projects. I can't say much about. There are 2 features next year, and I just got a wake up call saying I need to book more legitimate projects on roles on TV to be a bankable lead character, even though these films are being written for me. So, a lot going on, man.
Let's start at Last Chance, because I respect you guys' hustle in terms of wanting to get something out there, but on the last pod I was talking, and it wasn't directly about your team, it was about another team of actors that I saw that was on set, and my take was that and it would be hypocritical of me not to mention it with you guys, is that I thought that unless you're paying people and unless you're getting day of COVID test, you have a COVID person on set and stuff like that, it's a bit unresponsible to take people's desire to be a part of a project, to act, to be a part of a crew, and to film something during this time without taking those precautions. So, and I said it on the stream, so I'm not gonna step down from my own words. I felt to myself that it lessened my notion about those filmmakers because they're taking that chance. How do you respond to that?
Oh man, it's the multi-headed hydra, most definitely. So I worked on a few. Obviously I've worked on commercials during this time. Of course, those companies being paid and whatnot have more finances, though. We're not doing COVID tests necessarily. You have a questionnaire, you come on set, you make sure they provide sanitizer, and or you have your own. Masks are worn all the time unless you're on camera, unless you have your essential and non-essential workers on a production. Your essential workers are those right there about to film, and the actors on camera. Non-essential are those not needed necessarily to be filming right then, and they are off somewhere else, distancing, as well as actors, or should be. I don't know if that happens all the time. But the Last Chance team did take precautions. We had questionnaires we had to fill out. I mean, of course, we didn't go all the way, and it was said, hey, we want people to, it was, and I'm a producer on the project as well. I might be the lead, but I'm also a producer. I'm also very much not one of the people that thinks COVID is a crock of shit. I think there's most definitely something that we need to be wary about. I'm on different fences every day. Every day I wake up, I have a different opinion. Whether it's like it's not that bad, or I need to really be careful. I got parents. I don't. If somebody got my parents sick, I go on a rampage. So I mean, we did take precautions. People were wearing masks. If you watch any of the BTS we post, there are a lot of masks being worn. Especially during the beginning and the end of productions when things are kind of moving fast, people might forget to or whatnot. I try to think, like, I know myself as an actor, like I am just as an individual right now, especially with my girlfriend and her training older individuals. I have to be really careful. So like we're taking those 3 or 4 day tests, not the quick tests. Quick tests we all know are kind of like up in the air as far as the results. But I'm taking tests regularly, so I know personally. And I know George and the team have asked, hey, if you can, please. If you can't, okay. But no, going into this, we'll do what we can. But you're coming in kind of at your own risk. But for the most part, the people I know, not a lot of people hang out and go off and do stuff. Like this is the only time they do that. So that's the best I can really answer that.
Hey, we got through the easy questions early, didn't we, Jayce? Well, I think that from my perspective, it's you, George. You guys are like the picture of the asymptomatic, healthy, muscular dudes that COVID is not going to do shit to, right? That may not feel
not 100%.
anything.
I'm actually one of the higher risk individuals because of I have high blood pressure. So and without that, even when I've had some high blood pressure attacks, which mind you, I've gone to in the last year, I've gone to the emergency room like 5 or 6 times because of the scares I've had. So like I don't not care about COVID, especially because of that. So
No, I'm just saying. I'm telling at you from. This is all from the exterior looking in. You guys are, and the people that you have mostly, I said, are younger. Blah blah blah. They may you guys may not even. And I know Aaron David Roberts caught it, but that was a while ago, and I know he got involved with you guys. Right. So just out from the outside, and then the other people that I saw was
Marty Fowler.
Yeah, Marty Fowler, right? He's an older dude, but rich people don't catch COVID. But the people that I had saw that I was mostly referring to is I saw a post like, hey, we just wrapped, and then they had the camera, and then it was like all of a sudden I was like, that is a shit ton of people around. None of them were wearing masks. Maybe one of them were wearing masks. They were all hugging each other. And then when I saw the people that were there, I was like, I still sort of get a feeling that these people are a little unprofessional. So I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, why can't you wait? What is so fucking important that you can't wait till the spring to do it? And then in the back of my mind, I was talking with Mark Atkinson, and he's like, well, I feel like you're talking shit about me because I just did something, but it was only 3 people. And I was like, yeah, I don't necessarily want to say that my friends are fucking up. I just have zero ability to see something, feel a way about it, and not express it. It's like truth to power.
No,
so
that's fine. Yeah.
I have zero ability to be like, oh my God, that's so awesome. You're making a movie during a pandemic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've always said, I think the main thing that matters, and this is gonna segue actually into something that I just found out when I hosted the quarantine film challenge and pitch fest with Jody and the film consortium just this last week. This came up because people from all over the world were there, from Bulgaria, a bunch of different people from South America, the States, Canada. For the most part, there's always like in my pocket, I always had my sanitizer. I did have my mask in the other pocket. Yeah, and that was one of those points. And there were multiple points throughout the day. Unfortunately, in productions, shit's always, even in the productions that have $400 million, nothing's ever 100% organized. Film production is one of the fucking most organized, unorganized things you can ever deal with. We forget, and we do also, and this is one of my things, is we do also have a responsibility, and this can kind of totally come off as, maybe it is, just so you know, come off as a defense, but I believe the entertainment industry is a frontline essential worker in two different ways. One, California alone has the 5th biggest economy in the world, and that's because of film, because of the entertainment industry. California alone. And two, people, I think honestly that we have a lot more issues with potential suicides and with a lot more craziness going on if people didn't have content to watch at home. I mean, this is one of the so it's like people were took any chance they get to watch something new or see something happening, and so I feel that's partially my responsibility. Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing it for the money because I'm not making much money doing
that's what it is, because I've talked to actors that have been on set and it's paid sets, and it's like, your budget is increasing by 15 to 20% due to COVID. You got to really pick and choose what positions you have on set. And what I've heard from people that have been on these types of set is that it's usually the crew is basically protecting the talent, because the talent is the one that really has to be without a mask unless you write that into the script. So basically the makeup artists, the crew and stuff like that, they always have to be masked up. They always have to be blah, 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 this and that and the other thing. And then the talent is the one that if you're not filming something that's set in a COVID universe, that has to be without their mask and things like that. So I believe there's
the MO that I'm noticing everybody doing, and it happens with the big production companies down. I'm not going to say names, but the big production companies I'm doing some of the commercials for, and then some of these short films and features I've done over the period of COVID, is everybody shows up to set super uptight and on it. Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's got a hand sanitizer. And as the day progressed, when people are filming, masks come off, and they're not filming, they go back on. But then it gets looser and looser by the end. So what you did see was literally the end of the day. And off and on people were, but it just got less and less and less. People get more and more wrapped up, and we realize, we're losing light, and we're not getting what we're supposed to get. So then, the rush to get the footage that we thought we were going to get ends up making us forget, the first third, we were really uptight. 2/3 was, we were 50-50 there. And yeah.
Like I said, my original gripe was not to your set. My original gripe was to somebody else that I saw on set that was doing it like half-assed, like
nothing,
nothing. Like there was just nothing. Like they were just like, it's a hoax and stuff. And I've heard people go on set with filmmakers that are it's a hoax, that they were demanding that people not wear masks.
So luckily, everybody that we've worked with, and we've worked with some people definitely on different ends of the spectrum politically, but I won't work with anybody that is a complete. I've worked with some people that are most definitely more on the fence of it's a hoax. But if somebody's like that, I'm not gonna have any part of that, because if you don't care about my health, then why are we friends? I get you have your issues. Like if you want to wear a mask for your reasons and whatnot, but if you care about me, you wear a mask for that reason. You're not going to be hanging out all day and all night for days on end. So no, I most definitely agree with that.
And again, I'll close this and I'll say, like I said, my thought was that it's a little bit weird if you have people that are not getting paid and they really want to work with Jayce or they really want to work with Josh. They really want to be on Last Chance Series. Right. And you guys are doing it, and you guys are doing some of the things. I'm on it. I got you. I understand that and your other point about there needing to be, all this time people got locked into the house. Entertainment is what got them through. And I'm
100%, dude.
Yeah. So I understand, and I hopefully, your series, blows it out the water. I don't think that people are going to kill themselves because they have to wait an extra 3 months for Last Chance Series. But I do understand your point about it being important. But like I said, I love you. I love the team that you're working on. So for me, it's more of a I got to put it out there, right? I can't say it on one stream, say, hey, man, I kind of, that's not a good look for you as a filmmaker. And then come and, you start telling me a lot about Last Chancers. And I'm like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Let me catch up on a couple of comments. George Jack, FYI, I got a rapid test on Friday. Came back negative, and since you never heard our first interview, let me get back on the pantai to defend myself. All right, Jack. Number one, George was good enough to be my guinea pig. The first time I did an interview, the first time I did live was with George. Everything else I had recorded, but it did go out live, and I am posting the link to your video in the chat, Mr. Jack, because we absolutely did have the video available on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch to watch. Again, that's twitch.tv/2amburrito, youtube.com/2amburrito, facebook.com/2amburrito. Also, Carlito stopping by saying, great discussion. What's up, brother? You were featured in the clip at the beginning of the stream with Jayce from Blacklisted. Thank you for stopping by. Margarita Vaca stopping by the stream. Thank you for Marguerite, sorry. Life would not be worth living without art. It's a service. Okay, all right. We can take that there. That's fine. And Jayce, what do you do to manage your high blood pressure? First question.
Oh my God. Everything I can. We might have Louis might end up making a whole extra segment because of this. I changed to being vegan, which definitely helped. There are different things in the diet that are high blood pressure beaters. Beets, for example, blueberries. I do take medication right now, keeping it as low and manageable as possible because from my parents who I was born and raised on a organic farm in Northern California. Always tried to stay away from antibiotics if possible and all that stuff. Nature provides, but where it doesn't, or you need some help, so I'm doing that, and then lots of water helps. A big problem for me is I can be so busy in a day, and the way my mind works is I forget to eat and I forget to drink. A gallon of water, when I do drink a gallon of water, I notice a huge difference on how my body operates. So that's a big thing. So vegan, there's special foods, and then even supplements of those foods. I have like beet pills that I take, as well as my high blood pressure medication I take tonight, which hopefully I won't have to be taking too much longer. Water, and of course working out. Cardio is important. Funny thing is muscle can really throw your blood pressure off too. I found out from the doctors. So you can get weird readings. So sometimes my readings, we don't know where they're at. So to be safe, they're like, you just get yourself in a regular cardio routine, which I've been really bad about, but I've gotten back into lately.
Jumping on the vegan. How long have you been doing that for?
August 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, it was for a challenge first. This guy, Mike Rashid, is a big buff heavyweight boxer, and he's vegan, and he's a trainer, and he does like those challenges. He'll send out, hey, sign up for a challenge. It's $100 or whatever, and they give you do a questionnaire, and then they give you things predicated on what question, how you answer those questions in the questionnaire. And I was like, I want to give vegan a try, because I went from eating meat to pescatarian and vegetarian. I went kind of back and forth between those, and I was like, I just want to give it a try, and I did, and I just noticed it took like 3 to 6 months for changes, but the changes were definitely things I thought were chronic problems I just had as a person, but no, there were problems due to the dairy I had or meats I was eating and whatnot. So,
and you're still buff.
Yeah, it's not easy though. So, talking to my girlfriend actually today, like I've been putting on some great muscle lately, but I with my doctors, I took a new really cool new test. Like they gave me a 23andMe, and not for the family thing. You do it to see what like your genetic disposition is, and they take snippets of your genes and say, okay, you have like I found out I have a disposition for atrial fibrillation and for this. And one of the things I have, which makes sense, a genetic disposition for is obesity. Like I can put on weight really freaking easy. I get soft and put on weight really easy. So having a diet that is, even my protein has carbs in it. Like I work out like 2 to 3 times a day to not put on weight. It's not easy. It's not easy, and I'm still fine tuning it. We've all been programmed since we were kids to have the diet. Meat is an essential part of the diet, and so reprogramming takes time. Like learning how to supplement and what to replace. I'm still learning, man, and it's not cheap.
In a theoretical world, I think everybody would agree that being a vegan is probably the most kind, I guess, pro-earth thing that you can do.
Right.
But you know, there's also the fact that you know there's overpopulation of certain types of animals that need to be hunted or that you need to be cured. There's I mean, okay.
Which is all if that exists, it's all due to our existence.
Well, here's the question on that. All right, let's say everybody wakes up tomorrow, right, and says Jayce is right. We all gotta be vegan. All right. I just saw this video with this fat guy and this buff vegan guy, and I'm sold. Veganism is the way to go. What happens to all the animals?
Actually, do you know what that was? Some of that was going on this year because veganism was on such a huge rise in 2020 alone. Farmers were going out of business, and they couldn't afford to take care of their livestock, so they had to. And it's funny because instead of, excuse me, so some of the interviews I was saying is it's fucked up but amazing at the same time because one, they're like, I'm killing these animals for no reason. I can't make profit. They had to get rid of animals. They couldn't hold on, so they had to just slaughter animals and not do anything with their meat. Literally, it was just like.
So what you're saying is veganism causes animal murder?
The rise of it did. It did. They couldn't. I mean, yeah, man, they could. But on the weird flip side of that, a lot of these farmers, for some reason, that was what was necessary for them to realize what they were doing was wrong. They're like, for some reason, killing the animal for no reason opened my eyes up to what I was doing before was no better. Kind of, it was weird, really weird. I saw some interviews with some different.
In the back or in the conscience of every meat eater, even though you don't necessarily think about it outright, there is that negotiation where in the back of my mind at some point at some level in my mind I am okay with the raising of animals so they can be murdered so that I can have a sandwich.
Right.
You know, which is if you think about it, okay, well, yeah, it's been ingrained in that since I was a little kid. I've been eating steak and bacon everything my whole life. So we're all at some point okay with that, even if we don't.
Because how we were programmed. If we were not programmed that way, it would not be that way. Like we're programmed, it's not okay to do that to dogs. Well, we're hypocrites. We don't have a right to say that. If we're going to do that to pigs or cows who are just as smart, if not smarter than dogs, we don't have a right to say, guys, we're shutting down your meat markets over in Asia because that's wrong. Well, I look in the mirror, you know, it's like you gotta. It's you know, it's a double-edged sword, man. It's a real sticky situation.
In a pinch, I think I could probably get a nice rack of ribs out of Baxter back there. You know, if all goes down to shit, like in like a Will Smith type scenario where it's just me and the dogs, and I gotta decide. Man. I just think about that as like, what is the protocol? I mean, it's like because there's no way that. Yeah, exactly. Not. Well, that's that that. Yeah, that happened to that's actually the Uruguayan rugby team, or what was it, rugby? It was something else, but it was from Uruguay where my father's from. That's a story from them. But my question is always like, well, what is the process for the world to go vegan? If we go vegan too fast, then there's going to have to be a lot of
most definitely. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it could happen overnight because we'd be killing as much or more animals than we. You know, it would have to most definitely be something that the nations came together and said, okay, this is how we wean off of and how we, you know.
The demand would have to wean off considerably for them to be like, okay, let's not breed as much, then we won't process / murder as much, and then what if like all of a sudden it becomes like in vogue again when there's only like 3 cows left, then meat becomes like $7,000 an ounce.
And I think a big thing with governments would have to step up, just like how we're trying to transition from one type of energy to another. Like it can't happen overnight. Like, you know, your big companies have to, I think governments have to help big companies transition. So you have to get funding to teach these companies, or, you know, additional funding so they don't have to do it out of their own pocket, I think, to teach these companies, to get them the tools they need to get to their workers on how to vertical farm, you know, while they're still, you know, doing, unfortunately, what they're doing. And, you know, so that transition financially can also slowly switch over, and there's not as big of a dip. Because I get it, you know, it's a.
Like I said, I'm on board. Problem. I'm on board as soon as the fake meat taste gets to the real meat taste, which is pretty close.
Have you had the So I thought I've had Impossible Burger cooked a couple different ways. It's most definitely more realistic than Beyond Meat. But I went up to LA, Alexander Robinson, to work on one of the features this next year is a fight feature I'm working on with him. And so we went to a vegan place right down the street from his little office, and thought I ordered a vegan patty, and I was into it 2 bites, and I was like, oh fuck, they gave me meat. And he's like, dude, no. He's like, did you know that Impossible Burgers can be cooked to where there's like red, juicy stuff in the middle? And I was like, no way. So I had to go to them, and I was like, this tastes, I swear, and they're like, no, that's the vegan burger. And I was like, I'm fucked up right now. Holy shit. Because it tasted like it too.
All right, post COVID, me and you will do an Impossible Burger taste test where I get the blind test, and we'll go from there. Because I'm all for it in theory, and I try my best to try to hey man, I'm probably like 3% of the meat demand in the United States as it is right now. So I like try to skip here and there so that I'm making an impact, Jayce. Let's catch up here with Margarita, another comment. She says, good health tips. I heard that cacao powder lowers blood pressure. I'm wondering if I need to go more vegan. Eggs and chicken are giving me weird side effects. No more chicharrones. No more chicharrones.
I don't know about.
Okay.
All right. Any meat now, organic or not, has got something that's not organic in it. All these animals are pumped with something. That's the thing that sucks, and that's the big thing that's ruining people's health.
All right, enslaved by vegetables. Most serial killers start off with killing animals. Well, thank you, Kurt, for that. We didn't know that.
He's a vegan. Shit. He's not?
George says, I still want a non-test pilot version. By the way, go Ravens. All right. I mean, the Jets are 0-12. So way to kick a man when he's down, George, when my team is 0-12 and you got the MVP playing quarterback for you. But yeah, George, give me some dates. We'll have the rest of the crew from Last Chance Series. We'll talk about whatever one. We'll schedule it for a future pod. Since you were the brave one that did the first time I went live was George. I was recording them, and so there was a couple of errors during that, but we had a good time.
When was it?
That was, kind of like, and this kind of brings it around to your thing, which is earlier this year when, like I said, everybody kind of knows my story. I take care of my pops who's 89, and he's got like all the pre-existing conditions and everything. Yeah. And so I had to make a decision basically that was like, I'm not going to be on a set for a long time. In March and April, I was like, okay, we're locking it down. When it sort of started becoming evident that it was going to be like a longer term thing, I was like, I'm realistically not going to be able to produce or make something because I would have to quarantine myself before and after to be able to take care of them and stuff like that. So that's when I pivoted more to making content at home, doing my Edward Film School videos, my reel reviews, and then I pivoted to this to stay creative and to sort of keep myself out there. So, so in essence, I decided that I realistically was not going to be on set, and I was like, okay, then I need to stay creative, but I don't. So that's usually, I think I started doing them recorded offline, and then I posted them, but then I stopped being scared of going live. And that was kind of a big moment for me because I don't have to edit on the back end, and I can talk to people and have conversations, and it's pretty simple. I kind of like it. I kind of like the pressure of going live, and I like the ease of going live. And I think it's a more on the spot sort of interaction than being able to like stop and edit and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have a question. Do you think, say tomorrow, without a vaccine, COVID disappears? Do you think you will maintain some type of episodic release, live episodic release doing this as we're getting back to filming, or like when filming is safe enough for you and for your pops and all that, this is not something that you're going to do anymore?
I've been offered movie roles, and I've been offered because I got chops. I've been offered roles, and I've been offered and stuff like that. I've been offered stuff that I've had to turn down. I've been offered a studio to use to record my podcast where I can have people in, and I've had to say no. So I think in the future, if you say no vaccine, it's hard for me. Then I would say probably I wouldn't feel comfortable until probably the spring or summer after I see people kind of how people have reacted and some shit. once I get Pops vaccinated or I get myself vaccinated and I feel more comfortable leaving the house, like all I've seen is my roommates, my dogs, my dad, my girl, and that's it. That's pretty much
No, but so what I'm saying is when that time, so whenever that time comes, when it's safe for you to do that, like, you know, everything's clearing up, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to forget podcasting, or is it still something you're going to do?
No. I love to hear myself talk. I love talking. I love being able to give my opinion. I have the gift of gab. I think it's something that I'm good at.
Because I was going to say, I like this. I mean, I like this medium, and I most definitely think it's something you got to keep doing.
I think once I feel comfortable with, I'll set up a nice little setup so that when I'm comfortable, I'd love to be able to look people face to face and record podcasts and do them live eventually. Yeah. But for right now, and I'm not going to stop doing this. I like doing it. I like creating the content. I like interacting with people, etc., etc. All right, so we're talking live with Mr. Jayce Venditti. I'm going to share some of your socials here so people can follow up with you and follow here. Here is Mr. Venditti's Instagram account, Jayce Venditti. Here's a picture of you on set here, Last Chance series. All right, that's looking good. You can see him, Mr. Buff Vegan right there. Look at that guy.
So, we can do it. We can do it.
Look at that plant protein. Look at Mr. Vegan right there. All right, and here he is. With the mask and the wave. Look at that.
Visiting my parents. That's up visiting my parents. Yeah.
All right. Also, IMDb, Jayce Venditti. Although for some reason it still shows the Slapworthy trailer right there. You know, you were in one
crazy.
of my.
That's the number one thing.
That's the first thing that pops up, and then we also have Mr. Jayce's Twitter account here, where you can tweet to him.
I got another cartoon being made. That's a cool one.
All right. So the joke.
I mean, a Cybertruck. By the way, that's a Cybertruck.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
All right.
Make me in a Cybertruck.
Make me in a Cybertruck. But besides, one of the things that we talked about leading up to this, in something that's come up recently in the entertainment industry, is a couple of things. Number one, I think HBO and Universal decided that they're going to release their entire slate of films for 2021, both in theaters as well as on HBO Max. That means Dune. That means
King Kong versus Godzilla.
King Kong versus Godzilla. That means Wonder Woman 84. That's et cetera, et cetera. Everything is going both to today. It came out that Disney Plus added 86 million subscribers during 2020, which is like triple what they thought they were going to add. So
wow.
Disney underestimated themselves. So the playing field, which part of our original podcast, which is Indie Apocalypse, was based on the fact that the level playing field. So if you and George Jack and Rising Tides can get together and you guys are using cinema cameras and you guys are making a product that looks exactly like something that could be done professional, that levels the playing field. That means that you can put your product on Amazon or Netflix or whatever up against stuff that costs $1 million an episode to produce.
We still have to be able to. I mean, I still think there are deals where fiscally, we have to make sure.
Yeah. Distribution stuff like that is different. But what I'm saying is, like, we lived in a world, let's say 5-7 years ago, where the playing field was level. That was there. That was a paradigm shift. Now,
huge.
It's switching over now. Whereas big movies had the thing, well, at least the big movies are going to get shown on the big screen, and you can't do that with your little rinky-dinky ass production, Mr. Burrito.
Yeah.
But now, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney, HBO Max, it's another paradigm shift, because these companies are seeing, they wouldn't be doing this unless they saw raw numbers that said, yeah, we can make up the money that people would spend at the movie theaters by releasing this directly. How do you feel about that landscape changing all of a sudden?
I mean, it was obviously going to happen. But and the slow switch we were seeing anyways, when Netflix started killing it like they were, and then more streaming platforms, and then you have your devices now, so your video on demand can be in your hands, not just at home, kind of thing. So it was slowly going there. I mean, you have to adapt, you have to evolve. So I get it, but I think it. I don't ever think theater's going to go away. I'm somebody who I know no matter what, if I have an opportunity to watch something in the theater, even if I have to go and I have to wear like a purse and condom, so I'm safe, and I have to walk in wearing this weird bubble, suit to go into a theater, I'll still go into a theater because there's a nostalgia and an experience there that just can't be matched. It doesn't matter how good your theater is at home. It's going and sharing that experience with strangers is really cool. So I think there is a potentiality if certain theaters are able to stay afloat, where this might open up the door where theaters might make it available for us independent filmmakers to bring some money to the theaters if big productions aren't going there. Who knows? But as far as I think it'll change. I think a time will come where theaters will have some more again, but that time is nowhere in the foreseeable future. But I don't think they'll completely be snuffed out, I guess, so to speak. I think their time will come back.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a factor, but I think it is interesting for filmmakers that you might think that it closes off more distribution than it opens it. But yeah, theaters are going to have to adapt. Theaters are going to have to, lower their prices a little bit for filmmakers to be able to have events. 100%. We had Night of 1,000 Burritos when we had our own. We rented a theater, showed it up, sold it out, etc. So I think there is a way forward for filmmakers to be able to go direct to theaters, direct to thing. And I think the theater chains are going to probably be like, okay, let's look at other smaller indie companies for distribution. And let's put something out there, because the same way there's people that are not going to go out until they're 100% safe, there's people that are still craving that theater experience. Let me let you talk, but let me catch up with a couple of other people here. Marguerite, keep the 2 a.m. burrito going. You run a good show.
Yes, agreed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Somebody sent me a message. I apologize. Jody stopping by saying, Jayce.
Jody!
Thanks for stopping by. Dimitri stopping by saying, bro, enough. Bro down. All right, nice. Yeah, we're going to, Dimitri, stay tuned. We're going to actually show a film that Dimitri, Kay Williams, Jayce, Horatio, Angel, Kenny, etc., called Shenanigans, did together in a little bit towards the middle to the end of the episode. We're going to be showing the world premiere of our movie Shenanigans. George Jack brings an interesting point up, which is something that we were going to talk about anyway, George, so I'm not bringing this up because you said it. I was going to bring this up anyway. Just kidding. Netflix invested another $1 billion into their New Mexico headquarters in late November. I know that this is something that you have within your peripheral. Tell us how this affects independent small filmmakers.
Me say it again?
You. I said, tell us how this affects. How do you feel about that? How do you think this affects filmmakers of our level, that Netflix is investing this amount of money in that industry?
I mean, opportunity. It's opportunity. It translates to opportunity. Period. End of story. The only thing this is what I was saying earlier. So I think it still translates to opportunity. But no matter what the reason why we weren't able to get into theaters is because the studios bought the theaters out years in advance. They had the money to do that. So the question is, will they be doing that now, especially that they're kind of forced to go streaming more than anticipated or ahead of schedule? Are they going to be somehow doing that too, to where their content has less competition? Are they somehow going to be monopolizing streaming and to make it so that Netflix is like, you got great projects, independent filmmakers, but you don't have the numbers. What can you we need you to make us money, kind of thing. So I don't know. Opportunity is still there, but it's whether the opportunity, something can be done with it, or it's just like a pretty thing behind a glass window and we're like, damn, it's like right there, but we can't get to it.
I mean, New Mexico is not all blue meth and murder. There's other stuff going on there. So do you think that some kind of pioneer filmmakers are already sort of staking their claim? And I mean, there's already a California exodus. Do you believe that it's a viable option for filmmakers to try to push out, go east, young man?
Well, I am. Funny thing, while that was happening, I am talking to a cool father and son team who own. I don't want to say too much because then I don't want Netflix to come out and screw me over. They own 35,000 plus acres in New Mexico, and so I'm trying to create a portfolio with them. We're supposed to go out there, but you know, the shutdowns re-happening again and other things. There's a lot of opportunity for them to make deals potentially with Netflix if they have something that Netflix wants. If not, them with talking to the Buffalo 8 New Mexico division, because Buffalo 8's a great company out there that, you know, produces their own films. They have their own originals. They help develop, you know, projects and films as well. So I've thought about it recently. I'm like, I love California. I've lived here my whole life, you know, and I don't want to leave. It's my home. It's one of the best places just weather-wise that you can have year-round. And you know, the places I've lived, you know, from the country to the city, you know, and whatnot. But you wonder, like, it's not the most feasible, realistic to live here, you know, as far as, you know, being an independent trying to pursue your career. If you don't want to succumb to going 100%, you know, the industry standard, I'm going to do exactly what everybody in the industry wants to be successful. You know, if you kind of want to you want to try to break the mold, or you're somebody about breaking the mold, it's going to be difficult to do it in California right now. End of story.
Something similar is happening to New York during pandemic that's happening to Los Angeles, which means a lot of people are leaving the city just because, you know, if you're working from home, and if your job allows you to work from home, and you can't really go do and partake in the things that the city gives you, Los Angeles gives you, because of the lockdown measures, people are leaving the city. So, you know, do you feel that this is going to mean that New York, LA are going to drop off as production hubs, as places like New Mexico, Austin, other places, you know, take up the slack? Or do you feel that as people leave this, because I mean, if you're in New York and you're like, I'm paying $2,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment, I could pay $800 in Minnesota or in Alabama or in Georgia and still do my work from home as long as I have internet. Why would you stay in New York? Why would you stay in LA? So are those cities gonna suffer immeasurably from this? Or, and this is something that I've seen come out there, as people leave LA, landlords and rent will go down in New York.
Right.
Rent will go down, and then more artists that necessarily didn't have the money to live in New York or LA will move in to those vacated spots. And do you think that those cities will rebound pretty quickly as hubs for film production?
God, yeah, my honest answer is I have no fucking clue, dude. I mean, I do think.
Thanks for joining us. This is Jayce Venditti, and I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I do think that there's got to be enough smart people. Again, going back to one of the first things we talked about, we have the 4th or 5th biggest economy in the freaking world because of the film industry. I don't think the government would allow it, and I don't, you know, the federal government. And I don't think our the state government, the city government would allow that to happen. So I'm pretty sure when it comes to putting on the gloves and stepping in the ring to keep business here, you know, their infrastructure is there to make that happen. You know, I don't think all of the business will be kept here. Yes, I still think there's a lot of people that will. I don't think it will be heard enough. I think there's enough of us creatives out there who haven't had an opportunity, who can create quality work just like the big networks and the studios can, where, you know, great stuff can happen in New Mexico that doesn't necessarily really put a dent in or impact, you know, LA too much.
Plus, LA and everything in California got on everything that they've done. They've always said productions are excluded. So it's like if you make a movie, you're gonna have 6 people over for Thanksgiving. I don't think so. You're gonna make a movie or protest, you're good to go.
Yeah. Well, you saw what happened with the lady who owned that restaurant, right? Where they had that whole production company taking up her whole. Like, it shows how important production and film are. Like, as much as I'm like, wow, that's amazing for film. At the same time, you're like, wow, that's really not cool for those, you know, all the little stores next to that production who are they're not being allowed to stay open, even outdoors, kind of thing. But it's that one event right there shows how important filmmaking is to the government.
All right. And then I think my thought for San Diego filmmakers as it pertains to this is keep an eye out on LA rents, keep an eye out on LA locations and stuff like that, because even though it might not, I mean, Joe Rogan moved to Austin, a bunch of other people left. You know, there's a lot of people.
Elon Musk did too, right?
Elon was trying to leave to Texas as well. So if you've been contemplating, you know, this is a cold-blooded way to look at it. But if you've been sitting on your ass, sitting on your hands, thinking about when is a good time to make my move to LA, probably right around the time that the vaccine hits and things start to go a little bit back to normal this spring. If you've been sitting on your hands thinking about going to LA, it might be a good time to put that plan into action. Or if you've been thinking about getting to New York, because I know New York has a big mass exodus right now. There's a lot of stuff, and a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe more artists will move in, and it'll be kind of a resurgence for the city. What you said about Elon Musk reminds me of the old joke we had about Jayce, which was, remember that one, Jayce? I told you.
Oh, great! No, I don't. We're about to hear it.
I said, if you were in a room with Steve Jobs and Elon Musk, what would you clean the nut off your hands with after you jerk them both off?
Oh my God! Would I clean off my hands?
Why? That's what you said last time. I wouldn't, because it's Steve Jobs and Elon Musk nut.
Oh my God!
You'd fucking put that shit in a baggie and take it home with me.
Of course.
All right.
Oh my goodness!
And
In the freezer.
And brother, this is because this is my theory is that I would never make a joke about you that I wouldn't tell directly to your face, right? You know that. So that was it. And then the other one was this, and I've told you about this, but you've made a lot of strides in this front, which was, did you hear about the movie Jayce is thinking about making?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Because for a long time, I told you this directly, it seems like you were making a lot of pre-moves, but not a lot of real moves. And for a while, you were like, hey, what kind of role will you guys want to see me in? And my response to you was like, any.
I don't care.
Any role. I want to see you act, Jayce. I want to see you out there doing shit. Yeah. And from then, a couple of years ago, where you were sort of like trying to have mastermind these things and doing these like gigantic things.
Outdoing myself. Yeah.
You were thinking like 45 steps ahead of everybody and yourself, to now where I can count on my hand, oh, I saw Jayce in this. I saw that Jayce is doing this. And I see you on set, and I see you doing stuff, and I see you being productive, and I see you putting yourself out there. I can't make that joke anymore because you are very prolific at this moment, and you are doing a lot of things. And I just want to say that as your friend and as a collaborator, you know, that, you know, I'm happy for you.
I appreciate that.
All right. And then George Jack made a comment here, and he said, studios love how everything goes to streaming because now they don't have to worry about paying theatrical residuals. Changing the way above the line is going to get paid. Everything is all going to be up front now, no more back end. Yeah, you're basically selling the show as is, and you're selling the rights to broadcast it, and you might get it back.
Studios love that, but everybody else, all the filmmakers, everybody hates
theaters. Theaters don't love back. The studios are basically like the theaters are the movie studios are like, so we can basically fuck the theaters and just release direct to public and keep all that money that theaters were getting. And I think the negotiations now are going to be like, what percentage do theaters get? Do they get a bigger percentage of blockbusters? Are they allowed to charge more for tickets, etc.? I think theaters are going to have to charge more for tickets. I think that's the only way.
I mean, that's part of the big hassle right now is right. Some of the talent was upset. Nolan upset that, you know, not being told about certain moves. You know, they should have been.
Yeah, but he already got his money. Tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He doesn't let people sit on set apparently. So fuck him. All right. I've only seen him fall off a horse in Last Ride. That's Last Lessons, Kurt. That's Last Lessons where he fell off a horse.
Oh my God, Last Lessons. Yeah. Shoot.
What is the so other than Last Chance series, tell us a little bit more about Last Chance since we have George on. What is the premise? What is the part that you play? How did you jump on board with that?
Honestly, so Last Chance was one of George's 2 projects that he worked on. When COVID first hit, a few of us were just the quarantine film fest was put together, and we're like, we got to figure out a way of being productive still. So we figured out a way of filming our own stuff at home with our phones, and then editing with the mobile editing software and stuff like that. George did something, I did something, and a few other people. Brian Jackson did something that he's gotten some great feedback from. That we're actually now making a feature from that, which is really cool. And so George, when some things lightened up a little bit, he's like, he was really getting to the kick of directing and writing and learning more about the visuals of being, a DP, kind of wanting to just get as immersed in the filmmaking as possible, which people should, so that he understands every aspect of stuff. So, before he got the equipment he has now, he had, the high-end iPhone at the time, which is the 11 Pro Max. He had gimbal for it, got some sound stuff and whatnot, and said, things are opening up a little bit. This, as far as safety, they had opened up certain areas at the time. He's like, I just want like a handful of people to, just do something creative, and then somehow that snowballed into, him, and I'm sure he'll chime in here because I might get some of this wrong. Just him realizing he had something, he had a good idea and wanted to go there, and he just asked around saying, hey, what do you think about this? I liked it. I first and foremost, with especially, aside from COVID and aside from Black Lives Matter, two of the things that have created such crazy polarizing opposites with that is the news, the media. And so like, this would make sense, to do content like this. And he's like, yeah, totally think so. So he just started getting into it more. And honestly, so George is a pretty fucking brilliant individual. Like, he's a really smart, like, just, I don't know if it, like, having gone to school and having the opportunities he's had as far as like actually going to school and finishing school, but he's just a smart dude. Like, he's very well educated, very well spoken. I am jealous most definitely because of his the eloquence of his vocabulary is stupid. So that really translated really well to being able to write. And something that I learned in writing that's really important that I'm trying to find is dialogue, making your characters not all sound the same. And because he's got such an extensive vocabulary, he was able to do that. So him getting the green light from a few of us saying, yeah, we think this could do something, he, and him caring about that subject matter, we just went ahead and went with it. And so the whole first season is written out, and we have like 4 days left of the last 6 days. And then he just came up. He's actually thinking of doing something really cool with the season to push for, instead of another season, a feature film. I don't want to say what his idea is because it could be something that benefits him if he keeps it behind.
If you guys need somebody to play like a trollish podcaster,
dude, George, come on.
And I can record it just right. I can just record it right here. I can do it. Also, very important news. Just want everybody to know that if you want to become famous, you can buy. Oh, I'm sorry, Spider Monkey 230. I didn't realize you were a troll. Sorry, never mind that. Just kidding. But no. Like I said, man. Like I said, when I saw the other group of filmmakers that I won't mention, and I sort of saw what they were doing, what you guys were doing was a lot better off. Right? It was a lot better off.
Right.
But I still had that thought. I was like, does it have to be right now? Does it, but if you guys are taking enough precautions, I mean, everybody's got free will. I don't necessarily agree that the way to combat this was to shut everything down. I think it was to shut things down. Why, if Costco can somehow manage to have only a certain amount of people in, can a restaurant not do that? Or can a mom and pop stop, a strip or a mom? Well, I mean, that's essential. Come on. Or other types of industries. I think that if the government would have focused on health, get some vitamin D, get some zinc, blah blah blah. If they would have focused on the health aspects, this is how you can prepare yourself in case you get it. People were smart and they wore a mask, and people had simple, basic rules about how they could operate their business. It could have been a lot easier. I think I think one of the good things is that people who were told your job cannot be done from home, because a lot of bosses wanted to maintain control of them, are now seeing that, yes, you can do that job from home.
A big eye-opener for me was when we did this Zoom virtual quarantine film fest. And film challenge and pitch fest. And, that was Jody and the consortium opened that up, in the beginning of the year ish when COVID hit. It went international, and we had Bulgaria, a few Guadalajara, some Tijuana, some other places, and then there was I don't know if it was a couple or if it was just like a filmmaking partner couple from El Salvador. And listen to this, going back to what you just said. So their lockdown was way worse than ours. They literally had it to where they went out on the street. Officials were out on the street and they would check your ID, and you had it was either like certain days you could go or certain times you could specifically go. But if you were out when you individually weren't supposed to be out, you'd either get like arrested, get a ticket, or go home, whatever it was. So it was really bad. Like it was that bad. But they came to some agreement, the government, the people, or power that be, all that stuff, to where the people did at least these three things. They all wore masks like they were told. They all had like the entrances of all the stores, all the restaurants, all had somebody who was giving people sanitizer and making sure every person, just like masks, was going in and out with sanitizer, and that social distancing was pretty adhered to. They allowed everything to open up as long as those three things were adhered to. No problems with COVID. No problems. And yeah, going back to like it just takes. So this is the problem is. I'm gonna be really careful with what I say here. I don't want to get too many freaking haters from this, but we in the States tend to kind of have it easy. We always have this veil, that's been lifted recently because of the digital age. Now we can see things that are happening in the world and get all riled up when the things have been happening for a long freaking time. We just either were, they were hidden from us, or we all had a silver spoon in our mouth, so to speak. And, oh my God, where was I going with this?
I don't know. It looks like I smoked a joint, but you got high.
I don't think things would have gotten this bad with the shutdown if people just said, you know what? Okay, I will at least wear my mask. I'll at least do the, we don't like to be told what to do here.
Oh, we take this whole, we take this America freedom eagle, like you don't tread on me.
Way much. It's like
we're too into it, man. There's the main difference is that other countries have a sense of unity. Japan has a sense of community where whatever you are, you're part of Japan, and they're like, we should wear masks. We should. Smaller countries. We are a melting pot of people, of 8 billion different types of people.
Opinions, people, cultures,
and we all think we're the shit, and we all think we're the smartest. So the ones that wear the mask think they're smarter. The ones that don't wear the mask think they're smarter. Everybody thinks
the ones that are vegan think they're smarter. The ones that eat meat think they're smarter. Yeah.
We're all living paycheck to paycheck. But in the back of our mind, we all believe we're going to be Elon Musk one day. That's the capitalistic society that we live on. We're a bunch of check-to-check people that just think that one or two things break for me, I'm going to be the billionaire that everybody's fucking. I'm going to be Jeff Bezos. I'm going to be Elon Musk. So I think that we're so fucking into ourselves that we're like, I got COVID fatigue, or it's not affecting. It's just that's what it is. We are who we are, and that's why it's hitting us as hard. And it didn't help that we had like the epitome of like a polarizing figure leading us during the last, year and a half that obviously just kind of contributed to that shit. Guys, we're live with Mr. Jayce Venditti. We're calling this episode the Venditti Files because, like I said, Jayce has been with us, connected with me a long, long time. It is also the holiday season, and I do want to remind everybody that, you can still buy me a present for Christmas. How about this DJI Osmo Pocket 4K camera? It's only $250. Actually, Mike, if we have any camera people, is this a decent camera that I can add to like my vlog collection? Because I might want to use that. Oh, are you Marty Fowler or a baller on a budget watching me? You want to buy me a $4,000 customized Gorilla Gaming poker table?
Oh my God!
Eventually, I'm going to start hosting poker games again, so I would love that.
Dan Bilzerian, can he get me one?
Sure. Dan Bilzerian could definitely build you one. But honestly, I wanted to make sure that, like I said, what I'm doing during this holiday season and what I've been doing on my podcast, since nobody really is actually advertising or giving me money, is making sure that I shout out the people that I know that I work with that have small businesses. Arts for a Better Tomorrow. My homie Jose Yenke he's got a charity in Tijuana, Los Angeles, San Diego. They deal with children's trauma through the arts, artsforabettertomorrow.org. I also did an interview recently with an organization called Community Through Hope. They're in the South Bay. They help people that have problems finding their next meal. So if you're hungry, look them up. You can roll up, get some food. If you want to volunteer your time, they're in the South Bay. They're in Chula Vista. I love them. If you're on Facebook, my boy Dave Callens has a group called Shop Local SD. If you're still shopping for people's Christmas presents, Shop Local SD. Did a pod the other day with John Griffin, an artist out of Illinois. John Griffin Art. He's an independent artist. Really, really interesting work. My homegirl also has M&M Custom Designs on Etsy. And then locally, Sophia, who was in a movie with Jayce, has their company, which is Casa del Taco La Original. So if you need a cater for Christmas and you don't want to cook and you just want some bomb-ass tacos, check us out. As always, I am Lou Martinez at Facebook.com/2mburrito, Twitch.tv/2mburrito, YouTube.com/3mburrito. Make sure you like and share the stream. Make sure you follow us so you can know when we're going live. If you have any questions for Jayce, we're still powering through here, brother. You're not getting off the hook. We've talked about, I know we still have some other stuff that we needed to talk about, but I wanted to just kind of give a mid-stream shout out to everybody.
I just realized you did that with not one single breath. Shit.
Kurt says, I think I'm dumb. I don't think you're dumb. You know what? Kurt.
His name is Enslaved by Vegetables. I love it.
Yes. And Margarita says, the universe has seen your wish list. LOL, Toon Burrito is the new vision board. Thank you, Margarita. I know you're doing, follow her on Facebook. She does some sort of motivational, like thinking, some different stuff, like she's pretty deep from what I saw. So that's cool. So we're talking with Jayce. I got a bunch of other bits that I want to do with you. I got a bracket bit. I got a rock, paper, scissors type bit for you. I want to do that one because you are, but I do want to talk a little bit about your history as an actor and stuff like that. Because I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but you were in a boy band. You come from an artistic background. You were a highly rated soccer player when you were young. These are things that I know about Jayce. Get to know your Jayce Venditti. So that's why this is called the Venditti Files. Let's start at the beginning. You started off playing soccer, from what I remember.
Actually, I started off acting before that. I did.
Acting before soccer. So your first love was acting.
Yeah, I was actually I was scared out of acting for two reasons. My parents didn't mean to do this, but it affected me. Like they saw that I had a knack for it, and it just became serious. Like as long as I could have kept a fun angle, and I don't think they realized that it wasn't fun the way it ended up going. But the second biggest thing, or actually the thing was bigger than that, was all my friends. God, I don't remember how young I was. This is first, second, third, maybe fourth grade. I didn't really know the meaning. All I knew at that point was it was derogatory. It was degrading. I was called a faggot. I was called gay because I was into the arts and I liked to dance. And there was a conservatory I went to where we didn't have to wear tights, and I didn't realize what that was until later on. I was like, okay, But so that kind of scared me away from it for a bit, and then realized I took the skills I had, like when I was doing, it was musical theater. I did some little bits for local commercials as a kid, and then musical theater was the big thing that really got me into acting. And then I took my skills on stage and kind of like, that's what my parents and people always said, oh, you're able to take your dance skills and all that shit and do it on the soccer field. So then soccer for almost 20 years of my life.
But soccer was supposed to be more.
I thought that was going to be.
Was that like, listen, I have an aptitude for this. If I do this and I follow this line, this will get me into college for free, and this will basically.
No,
be,
I just loved it. So I mean, I've always been a ham. I mean, I've always loved, every actor has to admit to some extent they love that the energy that you get from being seen. And if you recycle it correctly, it's a natural high that you can get and your audience can get. That's why, whether it's acting and seeing your thing on stage and getting reactions from the crowd, or doing that like in theater live. But I also felt that playing soccer, and soccer was biggest stage for sports. It was football. Soccer was like a religion worldwide, not just in the States or not just in one country. And I always liked, my big thing and it's really weird because I have such a big heart and my feelings can used to get hurt really easy. Is I always loved to be different and just kind of go to the beat of my own drum, and that's part of why I did soccer too. Everybody was doing football and baseball, which I did baseball and some other sports, but I didn't do football or basketball. But yeah, and then I fell in love with just what soccer represented.
Who's better, Messi or Maradona?
Oh, R.I.P. By the way, Maradona.
Do you see the fuckers that took a picture with his body in the morgue?
No,
dude, the couple of dudes that worked in the morgue opened up the casket and took selfies with dead Maradona. Argentinians are crazy.
Dude.
I love my Argentinian bro. I mean, I'm from Uruguay, so
a lot of South America. Dude, that's the life. So I lived in Bolivia. I lived in Bolivia. I played soccer there when I was 14 years old. It was part of my 8th grade graduation from my parents. And one of the most memorable moments I'll have is they were playing. There was a cup that was playing. It wasn't the World Cup, but it was a cup, and it was the Bolivian team against another team. They scored a goal. I went out. I was living with a family, me and 3 other guys, another 14-year-old and 2 18-year-olds. You walk out onto the patio, and you can hear the whole fucking city celebrating. Here, maybe a few people in your apartment complex in the block, but there, it's like we have so many different things here in the States. There, soccer.
It's soccer.
That's it.
I walked into a soccer game in Argentina when I lived in South America, and people sit before the game, stand up for the entire game, sit at halftime, then stand again for the entirety of the game. You don't go there to sit. You go there to jump around. Also, in 1994, Colombia played Germany in the World Cup, and they tied.
94.
They tied.
Yep.
In Queens, there was a caravan of like hundreds of Colombian cars just driving all around Queens, honking their horns with their flags because they tied. They tied Germany, and in Queens, there's a lot of people there.
They scored on themselves, and that player got killed.
Yeah, that's the from the movie they made a movie about that called The Two Escobars. But that was in the World Cup in the U.S. I think it was
94.
I
watched Cameroon versus.
For some reason, I think it was
that was the U.S.
For some reason, then I might be thinking about 90. Then I might be thinking about 1990 because I think
94 was the U.S.
No, I'm thinking about 90 because I think they played Germany. But so soccer's a lot. Yeah, so soccer. Okay. No, they were playing Germany and Italy.
Okay.
I think Italy was 90, USA was 94.
Yes.
Mexico was 86.
Damn, you're good. Okay.
Spain was 82. 78, I think, was like either Switzerland or Sweden was 74. 60. I know all of them. I know all of them from 1930 to 1950 was Brazil. 1930 was Uruguay. 1934 was Italy. 1954 was I think Sweden. 1960 was England, or 1964 was England. I know. Sorry.
Damn,
I was a big soccer buff, and I kind of got off on knowing. I used to know all the top 4 place finishers for each of them as well. All right, we got another comment here from Mr. Enslaved by Vegetables. Let me read this comment first. Now, Kurt, you do a lot of music for me. Why would I want to share you with the rest of the world? I'm trying to think whether I should be a hater here, Jayce. I'm just kidding. All right. Shameless self-promotion. If you need some electronic action film score music for any projects, I have a bunch of them for grabs. I don't know how I feel about this, Kurt, because I kind of like it that that me and you got kind of like I don't know, but I don't want to be a hater. But at the same time, Kurt does a shit ton of work for us, Kurt, music-wise. So at least make sure that you guys are following him, Enslaved by Vegetables, on YouTube. And he drops a ton of like really cool, really fucking funky music. The guy is prolific as fuck. I tell him, hey, I need something for this, and 10 minutes later, I got an inbox that says, "Here, check this out." So I'm definitely there. Wow. So soccer. I mean, we don't. So you're into soccer. You're into acting. When do you decide that acting, producing, being a personality, You know, when does, I mean, because you just decide
I
to
always
be
missed it.
an entertainer, right?
I got kind of screwed. I wasn't in high school. I was a total pushover, and so a lot of the guys when I'm going into high school looked up to me, but when they realized they could walk all over me, and I didn't kind of fight for my position on the team all that much. And I didn't play the way my high school, the high school coach, wanted me to play. I got benched like my senior year, which would have been I was shooting I wanted UCLA, and people were telling me the way I played, I could have, but so I had to figure out what my next moves were. So I was either stay out of school for a year and do some work or whatnot. And so I decided to do is I got into personal training, got a certification. And while I was doing that, I went to the Santa Rosa Junior College up there, which is still an amazing campus. And I literally said, fuck general education. I just want to do everything that I like in this first year of college and just see what I like. And so I literally took choir class, fell back in love with singing, hip hop class, never had danced like hip hop, but I always looked down my hall when I lived at home, as a little kid. Down my hall, we had a mirror, and I was always doing the moonwalk and popping, Michael Jackson. He was like a huge inspiration for me. And then what else did I do? I took a vet technician course because I loved animals, and my high school sweetheart wanted to, go to UC Davis and then start our own vet school. And then I took 3D animation because I was really in love with Industrial Lights and Magic and George Lucas, what they were doing. And then, certain things fell off. One, I realized I couldn't even give a dog a shot. I love animals, but I can't work on them. Couldn't do it. I couldn't sit in front of a computer working on tedious stuff to do this 3D animation. I mean, I could do it, but my mind just didn't want to sit there and do that the whole time. And then, I was killing it in the theater, in the drama class, and the acting and the hip hop. It was like not religious or anything, but it was like heaven opened up and God was like, oh, it's like, oh wow, holy shit, I did soccer for all these years, and this is what I was supposed to be doing. So a guy in college, Michon Andre, came up to me and he said, dude, well, I had an agency up there, covers agency. They had Bobino Casting. I don't know if they still exist anymore. They were like one of the biggest casting directors in San Francisco. Come up and do a workshop, and he pulled me aside with my Patricia Ryle was, I think, her name. God, my first agent when I was like 18, and said, Jayce doesn't belong up in Northern California. You got to tell him to get down to LA. And so I would just start talking with classmates, and somehow, I don't remember how it happened, Michon and I just said, let's, with whatever money we had, we moved down to West Hollywood, one of the weirdest fucking first 3 months of my life in LA. Oh my God, just so weird, the shit that we went through. But yeah, man. And that's how it happened. Just realized that was what I was supposed to be doing. Told that I was supposed to do that, and so I did it. Moved down to LA. And while I was auditioning and taking acting classes, I got to the top 3 for a couple different boy bands, but there was always a couple guys that were better than me. But then this boy band picked me up. Literally went to this audition with my roommate on the way to Father's Day 2001. We're heading to this audition for this last boy band before we were going to head back home. And I was going to tell my dad. I was in LA for 9 months at the time. Country boy, softy, goody two-shoe. I was literally like a good boy. Just total sweetheart and softy. And I was just, LA chewed me up and spat me out. Girls I would fall in love with so easily would just use me and be dating other people. I'm like, what is this? I had no idea. Like, I was so sheltered from Northern California. And I was going to tell my parents, I'm done. I want to come back home and just figure something else out. On the drive up, I got the call from the manager of the boy band saying, you made it. And I was like, driving up, called my dad, crying, oh my God, I'm in this group, oh my God. And then told them the story when we got there. I was going to fucking give up after 9 months in LA. I just pussed out. But that was hilarious. Didn't happen.
So, because I got that same crap that you told, that you said, because I used to take acting and do improv. And, when I would tell fucking my boys in Queens in the 90s that I wanted to be a director or an artist, I got called the same thing. I was into art. I was called an art fag. I was called everything as well. I was always, but I was still a big guy. So people, didn't necessarily fuck with me a lot, because there's always that question. But you said that you were a pushover, or people took advantage of you. You were not necessarily the alpha that you needed to be for soccer.
No.
But did you always have the muscles, or was that like your body forming like a literal shell to protect like little Jayce?
You know what?
So you can kind of be, so you can kind of go out in the world and not be afraid of these people, right? Is there something to that?
When I was 18 is when I was a personal trainer, and that's why I actually started being a personal trainer, so I could learn to put stuff on myself. I just wanted to, look buffed, and be buffed. But geez, man, I never even thought of it that way. That's a total potentiality. I might need to go and talk to a therapist and ask her. I was doing this podcast, and he said, "Do you ever think that this is why you became buffed?" And it's a total possibility. But I mean, I was always my dad. If you looked at him, I have a picture of him when he was like bald at 19. Luckily, I kept my hair until my early 30s. But he's holding a pillar, and he had like 20-inch biceps. Like, he was jacked. And so my parents were always like, they managed a gym when they were younger. Again, I was born and raised on a organic farm, so like it was always kind of in the blood and part of the family. So it was always there, but not until I moved to LA did I really get into it. When our boy band was going around, everybody thought I was a Chippendales, and they were like, "What are you doing with those little tiny dudes?" And I was like, that was hilarious.
No, you know what, Jayce, like anytime somebody says that's a good question, or that's an intuitive question, or I've never thought about it that way, my brain grows to messing with excitement at my ego inflating itself, because it makes me think that I'm doing a good job. So I strive for those. You know what, Lou? That's a good question. Moments. Let me catch up on comments, and then we're gonna get to a couple of fun bits that I have, because I understand people. But I did want people to sort of know a little bit more besides because people might know you and they're like, Jayce is always talking about fitness, and he's talking about like being intuitive and fucking blah blah blah, and he's talking about these 8 million projects that he's doing, and he's promoting and stuff like that, and he's that annoying vegan. I'm just kidding. But I think you have such an interesting background, because you grew up, your dad's an artist. You grew up in these weird things. You're like, you have everything physically to be a tough guy, but you're not a tough guy. No. You're like a very centered, very, I don't want to say meek, but you don't. I know you can defend yourself, and I know you're a big guy and you're a strong guy now. And I just thought it was super interesting that you're like this, like, yeah, I'm just chill and everything like that. But then you walk down the street and you're just like, nobody's, you know what I mean? So I think that's that's sort of interesting. And your whole history as a soccer player and the boy band thing. Olivia said Backstreet Boys vibing. Yeah, the Backstreet Boys vibing. Yeah, maybe a little bit. There might be some.
When I kept my hair, I had the high hairline AJ had. I used to grow the fucking chin strap. I got AJ all the time. Oh my god.
All right, Olivia, thank you for stopping by the stream. Stay in tune, because what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break with Jayce. He's going to take a shot of tequila. I'm going to grab some water because I got cotton mouth. We're going to come back. I got a couple of cool games to play with him. And then we're going to show a scene from Last Lesson. So Dimitri, Kenneth, anybody else that's still here, tune in. We're going to watch that. And then we're going to show the movie that we all worked together last year, Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
It's a little 5-minute movie that we made. It's pretty cool. So hopefully Dimitri and everybody is on stream so we can check it out. And then let me just catch up before we take a quick little break here. Margarita, sorry, I keep saying Margarita. I'm going to do some self-promotion. I do consulting program Soul Satisfaction. However, I'm also a professionally trained triple threat. I was in a film in November, Triple Threat film in November 2019. Just saw that the screening for Angel Mountain, a film that I played the role of a church choir director by director Karen Schubeck.
Awesome.
Well, that's awesome. Break a leg on your next production. Happy that you stopped by. And she has another comment here. Jayce is super versatile. All good for portraying different roles, right? He has that tender heart with a bad boy look. The dimples.
Hey, she's got it. I love it.
The dimples. Margarita de la Noche. Thank you. Thank you, Olivia, for stopping by the stream. Thank you, everybody that's on today. Remember, twitch.tv/2mburrito, youtube.com/2mburrito, Jayce Venditti, Find that on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you'll be able to connect to this man, follow his adventures, all his new projects that are coming up. We're going to take a quick 90-second break. When we come back, we're going to do some bits. We're going to show some clips. And I know that we had a bunch of things that we wanted to get to, Jay. So when we get back, I want you to give the people just kind of an update on the major things that you're doing besides Last Chance series that they'll be able to catch you on. Okay. All right. So Big Chief Burrito will be back in 90 seconds. We'll be right back. We are back. I left my hat in the bathroom. Backup hat.
Nice.
We are back live on a Monday, 2 a.m. Burrito, Big Chief Burrito. My name is Lou Martinez, filmmaker, podcaster, streamer. Here live with the homie, Mr. Jayce Venditti. We have talked about his life as an actor. He was a soccer player. He was a dancer in a boy band. He has been a humanitarian because he's got a nonprofit called A Face of Change. Do you give a fuck? Right? That's the motto.
Yeah.
So we're here.
AFOC, yeah.
AFOC, you know.
Do you give?
So we're
AFOC?
here.
Yeah.
So we're here. We're going to talk a little bit about his endeavors in a second, but I want to do something a little bit fun, real quick. Mr. Venditti, I could make that same joke that I made about Steve Jobs and Elon Musk about Vin Diesel and Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Sylvester Stallone. About Sylvester Stallone. So, since you are the self-proclaimed fanatic of these three actors, Sly because of his start, Vin because of his current movies, and The Rock because of his hustle, I would assume.
I already know I'm going to fail this.
Here's your quiz. I'm going to give you a movie quote, and you're going to tell me who said it. Sylvester, the Rock, the Stone, Sylvester Stallone, or the Diesel. All right, Rock, Sly, or Diesel. You tell me who said these quotes. You got it?
Oh boy, here we go.
All right, we're going to start off with an easy one. I am Groot.
Diesel.
All right, here's another one.
Keep them that easy, please. Make me look good.
One of your idols said this in a movie. Is it going to be like this forever? Killing each other because you were born 5 blocks in the wrong direction.
What?
This is a quote from one of your actors. Is it gonna be like this forever? Killing each
One
other.
of those three?
One of those three. It's either The Rock, the Stallone, or the Diesel. And if you guys want to play along, tell me who you think said this one here. But no, you know, Jayce can't see the comments.
I don't feel like The Rock has had any movies that have had anything that that could be a lie. Hold on one sec. Or you're killing yourself because you went the wrong direction. Dude, okay, I'm just gonna throw one out there. Let me think here for a second.
This is more fun than I anticipated.
Fuck.
Marguerite says Diesel.
Says Diesel?
Yeah.
Oof. I'm gonna go. No, I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Stallone.
And it was The Rock. He
It
said
was The
this.
Rock.
I don't know if this is the one where he was a football coach or if it was in The Pacifier. Not sure.
No, the pacifier was Vin Diesel.
No, The Pacifier. I think you think it wasn't there another one that they all have one?
No. You're thinking of the not the pacifier. Not the Tooth Fairy. Not and then what's the other one? Not the
All right, here's the next one.
Yeah.
Let's not bad answer. Bad answer. Bad answer. All right, here's the next one. You're the disease and I'm the cure. Probably gave that away with the accent there. My bad.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you gave it away. It's Stallone, but I would.
What's the movie? What's the movie? What's the movie? Oh, that is Sylvester Stallone in Cobra. That is Sylvester Stallone.
I was going to say Demolition Man. Cobra. Holy shit.
All right, here's the next one here. The key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering.
Holy shit. I just watched this fucking movie again. I just wrote this quote down literally last week. What was I watching? Is that Bloodshot? No.
No, that is The Rock from Hobbs. I don't know if he said it during one of the Furious Five but that is The Rock as Hobbs.
No, that was Hobbs and Shaw. That's Hobbs and Shaw.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're like 1 for 3 right so far. All right. Let's give you another one here. Here is the next quote. Rambo's a pussy. Who said that?
Oh, Rambo's a pussy. I would want to say not Sylvester Stallone, not one of his fucking movies. Dude, I don't know. What? Who said that? And what?
Sylvester Stallone said that in Tango and Cash as Lieutenant Raymond Tango. I guess it was sort of like a very meta. That was the first meta joke in the late 80s.
I was going to say super meta. What the fuck? I didn't even know they did anything like that back then.
All right, I'll give you another easy one, okay? Once in one's life, for one mortal moment, one must make a grab for immortality. If not, one has not lived.
It's that's either Vin Diesel or The Rock. I know that's not Stallone.
You are bad at this.
God damn it. Is that Rocky?
Yeah, that's Sylvester Stallone. That's Sylvester Stallone. I don't know if it's okay.
I'm bad at movie trivia. I'm bad at movie trivia.
Well, so you're bad here. All right, we still got a couple more here to go. You still got a chance to redeem yourself. All the ones I've loved are now ghosts, but I will fight to keep their memory alive forever.
Nope.
That is Sylvester Stallone in Rambo.
Nope.
Oh my God! I think I'm gonna have to let you off the hook with this one.
No, don't take it easy on me. Shit.
All right. Here's another one. When you're down and low, lower than the floor, you can feel like you ain't got a chance. Boom, boom, boom. Don't make a move till you're in the groove and do the Peter Panda dance.
That's fucking The Rock.
I think that's Vin Diesel. I think
boom, boom, boom. Oh, it is. That's the pacifier.
That's the best.
That's the pacifier. Yep.
I was born of the sea. I eat fire, corral, and I piss salt water. I scratch my back with a whale's dick, and I loofah my chest with his ball sack.
Jesus Christ.
Who the fuck wrote that? Did I write that?
Is that not Hercules? No. What is that?
I hope it's not. That is The Rock as Mitch Buchanan from the Baywatch movie.
I did say Hercules, and that was The Rock.
Here's another one. But why drive when you can get driven?
Fuck, dude. I don't know any of these.
That was Vin Diesel in Riddick. I'm going to put one. I live my life 1/4. I'm just kidding. I
know that.
I know you know that one. All right. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do one last one.
I don't want it. Okay, one more. I'm looking.
All right, all right. I'm what you call an ice cold can of whoop ass.
That's The Rock.
That's the right. All right. Ah, yes. That was a 20-point question. So Jayce wins.
Oh man.
I thought you were gonna rock this one, brother.
Nope.
All right, I want to show everybody a scene real quick of a movie that me and Jayce did. It is called Last Lessons. Here is the movie. So we're going to share this screen shortly, and let's see what everybody thinks of this of your acting.
Actually, like tenor, but with the H.
Really?
Yeah, it's different. I used to say my mom had a lisp when she named me.
Kenny Jenkins on the camera.
Now I realize that doesn't make too much sense.
Two-man team on this whole movie.
How about I call you Miss Arp instead?
No, don't do that. My students call me that.
What do you teach?
Math. And nobody likes high school math.
I do not see how anybody would not like getting math from you.
You're too kind.
So you're here for the horse?
I am. Can I ask you, why are you getting rid of her?
Yeah, you can. I'm leaving in a few months, and want to find somebody I trust that could give her a new home.
You can trust me. I will give her a great home. I had horses when I was little. I just want to be up on a horse again. I want to have that wind in my hair and the total freedom. I'll take good care of her.
So, I did want to learn to ride a horse before I left.
Yeah, you did.
Horse is this long, and you don't know how to ride.
I got your horse right here.
Tonight. I can come by every day after class.
I will see you tomorrow then, teacher.
All right, Mr.
You can call me.
All right, Spencer. Henner.
That's cute.
Music by Kurt, Enslaved by Vegetables, FYI. Oh my God. Oh.
And I was really having a hard time.
I had a hard time on that one. Woo!
Horse wouldn't move.
Although there's a part here where it kind of seems like the horse is pushing you guys together, which is really cool. After I was done editing, I was like, I wonder if I should have let that little part roll. Look at that. Yeah, see, like it's kind of like pushing her.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there he falls off the horse.
I didn't realize how well this was shot, man. This really turned out pretty.
Get some, Venditti. I forgot to tag Shelly in this stream. Get some. Nice shot. This is a great shot.
Yeah, that was a poster, right?
Yeah. Kenny crushed it on this fucking shot.
Yeah, dude, he really did. He really did.
Dimitri did it on the poster. All right, that was a quick sneak peek. You were robbed of Best Actor that year. I'm going to put it on wax. The other dude had a nice quirky performance.
He killed it.
He
I mean,
did
he killed the
He
performance.
did a great job, but you were robbed, my friend. I'm just gonna say.
So can you? I want to ask you a question about that. I've always wanted to ask this because I noticed this to be a common theme in the 40, at least in San Diego, 48-hour film festivals. I feel like there is a everybody, whether you, doesn't matter what genre you pull, everybody always pulls in some type of comedy to save them. Like the comedy piece, like the little piece of comedy that every film has can be the piece that saves the film. And I feel like that might have been what, because we didn't have a lot of comedy in this, minus the one where I said ass cancer, which people did laugh at that.
No, well, I can only talk for myself, and I think that no matter what genre, even if it's for a festival, just whatever genre that we're in, whether it's horror, dramatic, our roots are comedic. So I think that we're going to put a little bit of comedy in everything.
Okay.
I think just because it's curious, because I got a lot of backhanded compliments after this movie, which were like, "Hey, I didn't know you had heart."
I remember you saying that. Oh my
and
god!
I was like, you really showed your heart, and that you could like, and I've always felt that I can write for any genre just because I'm because of my skill. So, so I think it's funny because what we got, animal film and romance, which are like as far away from the 2 a.m. burrito like wheelhouse that you can be. So you know what? Like I made a conscious effort to just steer into it as much as I could. Like every time I was like, I want to make a joke here, I want to do something like that. I'm like, no, I gotta play it straight. Like I was like, I steered into it, and because I didn't add a lot of that comedy, or I don't know, maybe we stuck to it. But a lot of people that normally wouldn't fuck with us were like, hey, you know, what I'm saying, I'm just like. The reason I say it was backhanded because I appreciate the fact that people appreciate something that I write. I don't want to demean that. But I just kind of felt that if you had seen some of the stuff that I wrote, like Slapworthy, there's some parts that are very personal. Like I just felt like it meant they didn't really know too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
obviously.
Yeah, that was the main thing. So it's just kind of an ego thing, obviously, with that. But I was appreciative of people liked it because it meant that I could set aside what my original style was, and I was like, I'm gonna write for this genre. I'm gonna totally just go into it. And then you guys were like, yeah, you wrote this last night? I was like, yeah. And then I you had a monologue, and I read back and I wrote like a 2-page monologue for you, and you're like, all right.
And the funny thing, oh my god, you like telling like your behind the scenes stuff, but it's funny how I got a chance to read that monologue when you're talking about the self-tape monologue, right?
Yeah, at the end.
That I sent her. Like, it's funny how people have no idea. That paper is sitting right in front of me, and I'm looking down as I'm delivering it, reading it. You know, it's like I didn't have the time to memorize it. So
you were lifting. You were lifting off the page, man. You were like, I was like, just lift, and then we'll edit around it. I was like, as long as I can get pieces that are enough, like we fucking
close enough. Yeah. No, you did a great job with that. Shit,
you crushed that role, man. You crushed that role. Where's Steve Jobs to jerk us off? Come on. All right. So besides the stuff that we've done together, you've obviously done a shit ton of other stuff. What is it? What is it? I know that people can actually, because I saw you in a movie that is on Amazon Prime right now.
Oh, and that's the Failed State, right?
Failed State, which I felt was, which once I realized what it was and how it was made, I was like, okay, within that sort of space, it's pretty good for that space.
Right,
for that space. For that space. If you go into it thinking you're going to be watching fucking Tom Clancy's fucking whatever, it's not. It's not that. But in terms of something that was done independently, I thought that was Failed State that you can watch on Amazon.
And we all shot in our own. We all shot.
Yeah, y'all shot that shit on yourself. Yeah, I was like, I was like,
he edited it all together. Yeah.
Because first I was trying to hate on it, and then I was like, why am I being such a hater? I was like, I was like, you can't judge this against something else, you know. Like I was just, and then I was like, okay, all right. Hey guys, so what else are you in, or what else is going on right now that people need to know about?
Some of the stuff I'm afraid of bringing up due to questions that you may have. Obviously, Bodega Bay just came out. That was a short film that just got released. That was Tony Cox wrote it, starring Tony Cox. I was been getting a lot of great compliments on the easy I play like a total hot-headed Italian hitman creeper in that, and I do a good job at it. Shot and directed by Raul Uriola. And then I just finished. He just dropped tonight. For Thursday, we're dropping the trailer and the first poster for Night Hunter, was the feature film that I co-led in. That's going to be released 18th of March. And then the two bigger projects I'm working on right now. A man by the name of Nat Segaloff, a great writer up in LA. I met him when I took care of Dom DeLuise. I was one of Dom DeLuise's 5 caregivers who was taking care of him when he passed away in 2009. I met Nat through him. Nat's writing a pretty amazing piece for me right now it's actually entitled working title because of some of the things going on within the film. It's a feature. It's a pretty heavy feature as far as budget. And the person I have connecting me to the potential people who can finance it's like, dude, it sounds great. And I'm gonna potentially have what you need, but you have to, the reality is, no matter how much I've done recently or altogether, I have to get some bit roles on some TV shows and build my brand a little bit. So that's kind of what I'm in the middle of doing now, is trying to find some tightening up everything on my Actors Access and my reel and stuff to get a new manager and agent to book some like guest starring roles and whatnot. And then since we can't get to that film yet, she's having me revisit some of the other ones. I'm kind of creating my own. I've been creating my own slate over the last 5 years. The reason I went up to see Alexander Robinson up in LA is we're developing a boxing film, because that could be done on a pretty much smaller budget that she would help us out with as well. So that's called Natural Born Fighter. That's kind of like the focus right now.
When you were talking there, I had a couple of points. Because I've seen like we saw the clip at the beginning of the show. That was you like doing like the most cliched, like stereotypical, like Italian gangster parody, like that you could probably imagine.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna burn that clip after we're done. We're done with this.
Wow.
But what we were doing at that time was I was creating a movie that was actually the entire first season plot of a show, so that I could use it as an intellectual property. Or that's what I told myself after the fact. But I was learning on the fly. That was my first major production. But
that was a big production, dude.
Yeah, for what I did. But you're looking for more parts. Is there a cutoff line, or is that too far ahead of you that you wouldn't even notice it, where you would not want to take that role again? Like, because I talked to somebody like David Fernandez, not necessarily that role, but he basically was like clean cut Mexican, and then he started shaving his head, and then he started getting cholo roles left and right and taking off. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
I'm always going to stay true to what I want to do and what I believe.
But every actor's different. Every actor's limit is different, to where they'll say, well, as long as I can bring some honesty to that character, even if it's a stereotype, I'll take the part. Yeah. Some people say, well, I'd like to have that problem, but I'm not even getting the part to start with.
Well, a big thing too is it also depends on how big the project is. Like, for example, like I'll still do, like if they're smaller projects, I might do stuff that I wouldn't necessarily want to do, because one, you're stretching your acting, your acting chops, and you're staying active acting and whatnot. But when it comes to something that, like a great example, this isn't verbatim what he said, but I take a lot of what he says, because I think he's given great advice. Denzel Washington, he was being interviewed about, how he had to turn a big role down because he had to turn one big role down, and he ended up, and that him doing that allowed him, to go the direction that he wanted his brand to go, because that role didn't follow his brand. And, because he would have always been known as, this black actor that did the scene where he gets lynched, and he's like, if I wanted my career to go in a certain path and to get certain roles, I might have taken that. But he's like, when you're doing a big enough project, and that project's going to be seen in front of enough faces where those faces are going to associate you with that, it's like you got to make sure you pick and choose what you do. You know, it's an actor isn't, and you know, like you said, this is all opinion. So this is my opinion, but I'm not an actor because I say yes to everything. You know, every good role that comes my way, I want to do. You don't have to do that, you know, if you want to be considered an actor. Like, it's a business, it's a job. So you know what you want to do for the most part. So that's the direction you try and hone your path on. But I most definitely always be open to, I mean, I've done 3 gay roles. Now, I don't know if I'll do another one. 3 is, I think, more than most.
Right.
You know,
well, I was
single
saying, the
individuals
famous
have done in
Will
their whole
Smith
life.
didn't want to do, what is he? Was it 6 Degrees of Separation? He didn't want to kiss a guy or something like that. Like right?
Yeah. And so it's I'll most definitely visit roles as long as the project is small enough that can help me stretch my acting muscles and all this, that, or the other. But when it comes to something that is substantial and will create you know, an image of what people, how people see me, you know, a bigger number of people see me in their eyes, I want to most definitely stick to what I think I'm best suited for, or what I want to try to conquer first before going in a different direction. Like, I think it would be much easier to conquer really cool action dramatic roles, and then go the different direction into really creepy, crazy roles than doing the creepy, crazy roles first and then trying to go and play a hero. You know, I don't think it works both ways. Just like they say, it's a lot easier to go from being a musician to an actor than it is from an actor to a musician. People don't take you as serious. You know, they just don't see that transition as much.
I'm trying to see what I've had you play. I've had you play a personal trainer type meathead,
which is quasi in my direction.
Not another vegan meathead role. And then I had you play a very stereotypical Italian mobster.
Yeah.
Like straight out of like a mafia comic book.
See,
almost.
I'd love to do a mafia movie, so I have no problem with that. That's the direction I'd like to go with some roles at some point.
And then I had you play the Elon Musk type secret millionaire with ass cancer.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like what we were talking about earlier, like I steered so far into that curve of like, I'm just gonna write a romantic movie. I'm gonna write a romantic movie. Just keep it romantic. You don't have to make it funny. And then when we were shooting it, I was like, oh, say ass cancer. And then we were all laughing, and then everybody's like, well, I thought we were gonna keep it serious. And I'm like, no, do it.
You obviously have a good understanding of what is it? You have that je ne sais quoi. You know, people are going to react because like when I was saying that, I was like, this could be funny. I mean, okay, shoot. I don't know where this is going to go, but I mean, for a serious film, you got like a great, solid, you know, couple of seconds of laughter from that one little piece. That was great.
It was a little reprise from all the drama and this guy's dying and he's leaving a last monologue for his fucking girlfriend that he just fell in love with. Like it was, I was like, oh, lighten it up a little bit there.
Lighten it up a little bit. A little bit. I have a question.
Sure.
If you didn't lighten it up and you kept it heavy that whole time, do you think I would have won it then?
Oh man. I think I fucked you in the editing room, Jayce. I kept joking.
You were my ass cancer.
I was like, Jayce, everybody, we all laugh. And then Jayce looks back. He's like, wait, you're serious? You want me to say ass cancer? I was like, yes, Jayce. He's like, all right, let's roll. Let's do it. I fed you the line. So you got those things. And you know what? I was going to mention something else, but I think we're just going to keep it pushing. But when you work with, let me just ask you this question, all right? Let me just ask you this question, all right?
Sure.
As an actor, okay, as an actor, as a creator, as a creative, more as a creative, as a producer than as an actor.
Okay.
When is it time for you to let a project go? Because it's something that I have issues with.
What do you mean by that, though?
That means you started something, you wrote something. I mean, me and you started off when you had about a $250,000 worth of lights to light a Tesla for a teaser I sat there and watched and was like kind of absorbing on set because I was about to start doing my own thing.
You're talking about the hat.
Yeah. Well, not in general the hat, but I'm just saying that's where I met you, right?
That kind of situation.
And you guys spent like 45 minutes figuring out how to light the water on the ground.
Yeah.
and we've come a long way from then, right? But that's your project. You also have Entrenched. I mean, I have projects myself, Skinner Project, Bicycle Thief, all these other ones that I started for just some specific reason. Shit happens at an independent film level where either your budget drops out or your actors move away or your actors decide they don't want to be actors anymore or there's a beef or a breakup or something like that. Shit happens because life happens, right? Life finds a way. But I always struggle with how long I want to keep projects. I'll tell you guys a personal story. Skinner had a scene with 2 child actors. One of the best days I've ever had on set. These kids, I was like interacting with them. They were having a good time. I was so excited that they got to be in a movie. The project budget crashed. I had actors move away. People left. I was left with a bunch of footage that I couldn't cut together into a film, Mm-hmm. So, and then I get messages from these kids' mothers and they're like, what's happening? And I'm just like I feel bad that I can't finish that project to the point where I still try to talk myself into saying, I can still salvage it. I can make it an intellectual project. I'll put it together and I'll get investors. I'll reshoot it. I'll make sure I involve the same people. But it's hard to turn off the lights on a project. It's hard. I mean,
fully.
I have a 1.5 terabytes of blacklisted footage, just raw footage. And I'm just like, is it safe to delete that? I start to think is there a scenario where I want to go back and re-edit this? And I'm like, no. And I'm just like, but it's hard to, and that's just the technical standpoint of storage, that's not adherent to what I was asking you about. But as an artist, what's the process when you finally decide that you have to move on from a project? That it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen the way you want it to.
Oh, God. I mean, I think that just depends on where you're at in your career and where you're at with what you've done and understand what you're capable of or not capable of. I think those are all the deciding factors there. I most definitely wasn't capable of, I was nowhere capable of doing with the hat, for example. I'm just going to go there with what, from what I wanted to do. I mean, that was a totally fucking green idea as far as, what I wrote out as far as the first feature script, which was my first script I ever wrote. And then a beat sheet for 11 films, like a fucking tri-trilogy saga, that was a space epic kind of film. It's like mixed.
You know what it was for me, Jayce?
Mm-hmm.
You know what it was for me? When you had the filmmaking sustainable campus with the Tesla batteries.
Uh-huh.
That's when I was like, what the fuck is Jayce smoking? When you were like,
that's still something I want to do.
I know it's something you still want to do, but this was 6-7 years ago, and I was just like, I was just like, I was like, dude, make one movie first.
Yeah.
I was like, make one movie.
Well, that's there's where I have it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. I'm just creative. Period. End of story. I'm creative. When it comes to organization and other things, you were
putting off those crazy Kanye vibes back then.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God. I just talked about that with my girlfriend. I was like,
we're gonna make one movie and then 11 movies, and then we're gonna have a film campus, and then we're gonna be sustainable, and then we're gonna go to the moon.
Yeah. Oh my God. Watching an interview with Kanye and Joe Rogan, speaking of doing podcasts,
that was great.
Holy shit! I was like, I am so similar to Kanye, minus the shit tons of money. I was like, wow.
This is the homeless man's version of that interview.
Yeah. Not quite homeless though. Okay,
but not quite poor man.
Yeah.
This is poor man's. This is the check to check.
The crazy thing is, those were all ideas.
This is the check to check version of that interview.
Man, I didn't know anybody back then. And the crazy thing is, the people now that I have in my Rolodex, I'm like, as long as I keep going on the path I'm going right now, some of that shit could come to the fruition in the next 5. But I can be realistic now. Then it was like, okay, what do I need to do to make this happen in the next 4 months, year, or whatever? And I'm like, okay, I have a Rolodex. Well, if I keep building my brand, 5 to 10 years, something cool could happen. Who knows? Then I was in a rush. Now I'm realizing as I'm older and learning, okay, the process, what the process is a long fucking thing. Yeah.
It's half me giving you shit, me being like appreciative and giving you props on making that change from back then, but I just think that there's a time for actors and creatives like us where they just have to say, okay, as much as I appreciate that project and I was trying to get it done, I have to just realize that it's done, or I have to realize that, because I've shot stuff with people and they're like, why don't you show that? Why don't you show that? And I was like, because it's going to make us both look bad. We didn't do it. We didn't do it right. It's not good enough. You know what I mean? Like not a lot of times, but I've done stuff that's like, hey, let's shoot this. And then you're like,
same.
I guess it didn't come out as good as we thought. Should we still put it out? And at the beginning of my career, I would, but now I'm a little bit more selective. And, and I think that you reach a point, but the intellectual properties that I have in my mind and stuff like that, like that's another thing that I'm doing during this pandemic. Since I started doing these things live and I don't have to edit it afterwards, is that I've actually spent some time taking some of those dead projects and kind of bringing them back to life so that I can at least, put them up. And then, when I schedule interviews with people that I've worked with and I'm like, oh, I work with them on Skinner. And then I'm like,
guess what?
I should pull up that Skinner footage, see if I can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I did some, so it's good, man. But this was all to say that I recognize that I consider you a friend, and I consider yourself somebody that feels like a real, genuine human being. And I've seen that you've grown over the last year since I've met you to where you're actually being more productive and whereas before you were talking the talk, I think you're walking it a lot more now. And like I said, I wouldn't say the things that I said about you unless I could say them to you to your face. Yeah. And because you recognize that I'm just trying to I'm being real with you because you're my boy and I want you to do good.
No, appreciate it. Yeah, it's all about, dude. It's all about growth, and it's. I had to be stupid and make stupid decisions or say stupid things in order to realize that that's what they were. I'm not saying the ideas were stupid, but thinking that they could be a reality in the time frame or with where I was at that point in life.
If you could go back, would you tell yourself to slow down, or do you think that the mistakes you made were necessary?
I wouldn't tell myself to slow down. I tell myself to focus. That's my main problem. I have so many things going on, and that's what that was. It was like a lack of focus. Like, why are you doing all this stuff? Okay. Oh, and then what can make all this happen? Focus on your fucking acting. Make your acting successful. Build your brand, and you can do things with that, as opposed to trying to build my acting at the same time as these really cool ideas. Though I'm not an architect, but I love sustainable concepts. It's like, dude, I wouldn't tell myself to slow down. I'd say, do that, but do all of that with your fucking acting. Do all of that with your fucking acting. Take all that energy and put it into one spot, because then that'll allow, if any of that other shit has any legit potential or reality, it's gonna because of you focusing on this. That's what I tell myself. Focus.
I would tell myself buy Bitcoin.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, that would be.
I'd tell myself buy Tesla. I'd tell myself buy Tesla. That's what I
buy Tesla. Shit. No, honestly, I would probably tell myself one thing at a time. Do one thing, finish it. And start the next project. Right now. One thing,
trying to do that right now. I battle myself every day, man.
No, it's a pain in the ass, man. But shit, we're artists. What are we gonna do? All right,
it's a blessing and a curse. Yeah.
I got two last things that we're gonna do, and then I'm gonna release you. We're gonna watch Shenanigans together, and I hopefully everybody that's part of Team Burrito is gonna be able to join us. Shoot them a message in Messenger real quick while I talk to you. Jayce Venditti. Do we want to promote Sarah's business in case anybody needs some personal training?
Hell yeah, because honestly, she's destroying it right now. But She could always destroy it more. Do you want to just say what she's doing?
Well, you can, just talk about her for a minute. Yeah, go ahead.
So Sarah, my girlfriend, is a personal trainer, and she's ridiculously grown over this last. I mean, she's been a personal trainer for 5 years ish, but like the last 2 years, her growth. I mean, talking about like learning from mistakes and whatnot, her growth has been exponential. Like if you look at what her like, I'm blown away by what her. Though I shouldn't be, because when I see her, when I happen to walk by her when she's training on stairs, or I hear her on the phone or doing a virtual session with somebody, like I have never found anybody that not only has the background as far as the knowledge and education that she's built, but like who like genuinely, like I was a personal trainer for myself, and I loved kicking people's butts. I wasn't necessarily, I was young though. I was 18, 19. I wasn't necessarily about really giving people results. I was about just, I loved somebody saying, oh, you can't wind me. You can't this, that, the other. And I'd have people passing out at the end of sessions, which was not good, but she like genuinely like fucking cares about people. And that care goes into her business and the way she delivers her business. And, so, she's an amazing personal trainer. She's actually in the middle right now of working with some new guys that are helping her change her business model a little bit, because she is doing so well with what she's doing right now. She's hit a ceiling at the type of trainer she is right now. So some people are coming on board and helping her reinvent her business so that she can continually grow. Because she's like, she's a rose bush that's trying to grow in a fucking mug. She's like, her roots are taking over everything. There's no more space for her to grow, but she's got so much potential to grow. So, More Fitness is her business name. MOORE.
Put it in the private chat. I can put it on a banner if you put that. I can find it actually. More Fitness. All right, guys.
Hey, Ben, what's your email? What's your website?
What's your email, Bob? Or the Instagram, wherever people can follow her.
What Instagram or Facebook? Sarah Moore Fitness on Instagram.
All right, Sarah Moore Fitness, SARAH, right?
Yeah, SARAHMOORE Fitness. Yeah.
All right, Sarah Moore Fitness, guys, for all your fitness New Year's goal type resolution needs. And as I said, we're going to show a film that. Wait a minute. That's the last bit. I can't show you that. That's the bracket bit for the end. Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't show that shit yet. Just give it away.
We're gonna watch Shenanigans. Shenanigans is a movie that we made for a 4 Points Film Festival. We shot it all at Idea One Apartments where Jayce lives. He was a producer. I was a producer. We shot it there. And it was a lot of fun, man. And so I want everybody to, and since I had Jayce on, we're going to watch it. Let me know. Olivia's here. Thank you for watching, Olivia. Hopefully Dimitri, Kurt did the music for it. So I thought it would be cool to watch it together. All right, here. All right, let's go. Let's watch.
You want to watch it?
Let's watch Shenanigans. There we go. Logo by Film for Food.
It's time for Shenanigans, the game show that asks money. How far will you go to get it? Here's our douchey millennial hostess. She can't use a rotary phone, but she's got over 3 million followers on IG. Sam Bedford.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Sam Bedford. And did you just assume my gender? Because don't. Tonight, we test the bonds of friendship as we put a team of bros versus a married couple. Let's meet our teams.
We sent this footage to Paul Jarrett, who is the editor, and he was like, we were shooting it on Horatio's 8K camera, and we had separate setups for close-ups like you would do on a normal camera. And he was like, why'd you send me close-ups? I could have just punched in. You were sending me 8K footage.
Oh, my God.
So we were like, it's literally getting to the point where you could just point the camera at the room and figure out the angle later, right? Like it's kind of scary with Filmation. All right, got it. We're going back to the movie. Sorry, I had a comment there. All right, that was Sophia, our douchey millennial host.
From the Delta Tau Chi chapter
Uh-oh.
at San Diego State, it's Todd Jensen and Aaron Anderson, the Bro Team.
Bros?
Brosafina.
So, it says here you're writing a thesis on repetitive verbal and nonverbal communications and are trying to bro a whole year by just using variations of the word bro?
Bro, no.
Bro down.
Brotastic pronunciation.
Bruh.
That is very interesting.
Oh God.
Music by Kurt. Oh, cameo.
Hey, cameo.
By the way, you guys, did you see? I just broke 3 million followers on Twitter. I can't even turn on my phone. The notifications drain the battery.
Why don't you just turn off your notifications?
No. Oh my God, Tracy, you are a lifesaver.
It's actually Teresa.
Do I look like a baby cow to you, Tracy?
No, you're thick with 2 C's.
Then why are you treating me like a baby cow? Why is there milk in here?
I put no milk in it, I swear.
You think I can't taste milk? Are you trying to murder me with dairy?
All right, guys, Sam needs her safe space, so let's just take 10. Let's get a bottle of military trailer real quick.
I swear I put milk in it. I'm going back to retail.
Now,
right now. So
our next
Shout out Horatio,
She's
who
an
we shot at his
accountant,
studio.
she's a Marine. Somehow they've stayed married
Cinema
for 6
Viva.
years. From Queens, New York, it's Angela and Frank, the Joneses.
Well, we actually got divorced about 8 months ago.
But we need the money and we already signed up. I think the divorce actually costs more than the wedding. So.
Angela Jones was stupid. I never noticed that. That's
Term
great.
right now.
It's not even entertainment.
Here's a list of the various stunts,
Look at
actions,
tourist.
and shenanigans
Ask a large
that
lady.
the contestants must
Carb
perform
jacket
to gain
clergyman.
points.
That's a baby.
Survives the night with the
Spoiler
most
movie
points
for a minute.
will win
Eat a
$1
burrito with no hot sauce.
You see,
Shut up.
I can't even trust you. I can't be myself around you because you're always making fun of me, and that just invalidates my mental state.
Well, maybe if I married a man and not a mouse, you stick up for yourself once in a while.
Is everything all right?
Gotcha, bitch.
And the Joneses are on the board.
Yeah, I mean, just because we're not.
How crisp is that image at the park, though, man? Like inside, how crisp is that? Right? It's fun. That it's incredible.
Married anymore doesn't mean we can't work together.
I mean, especially for that money, honey. You know?
Oh my God. Oh, I forgot. That's great.
Angela and I got engaged as soon as their divorce went final.
Are you afraid that they might rekindle their love for each other by working together?
I mean, I wasn't worried about it before.
One pro team, 100 points for being done.
Taekwon bro native kick. In the brojo.
Did you guys consider your friendship more of a romance?
Bruh. Bro dependent. Broskies. Professional.
Bruh.
God, Jesus.
Another cameo.
And the Bros have tied the score with that game punt.
Oh my
And
God.
Infanticide, Bro Team has tied it up. Now, all you have to do to win is take part in our death-defying stunt. What is it? You have to go to the rooftop and jump to the building next door.
No.
Yeah, no. Are you sure? Yep. All right, how about you guys? Huh? Are you bro enough to jump from the rooftop to the building next door for $1 million?
Bruh. I love this. Shout out Paul Jarrett, man. Filmforfood.tv.
Bro core, bro. bro.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Bro.
That does it here for shenanigans. Next week to watch Divorcee Gap versus Newlywed Lesbos. I'm Sam Bedford, and don't forget to follow me everywhere.
Todd, I know it's a tough time, but how do you feel about Aaron being on the pavement?
I mean, how desperate are we for just a sliver of attention that we teach our children that artificiality, glitz, glamour, and social media acceptance is equivalent to actual life success? I punted a baby, man. The sick and twisted entertainment that we shove down the throats of the unconscious masses leaves them demanding more as they become jaded and numb to the realities around us. We're embracing the worst and most corrosive elements of our beings and trading in our souls for instant gratification and pumped up like counts. This monotonous, endless cycle of fuckery cost me my brother Aaron. How do I feel? Fuck you for asking how I feel. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out.
Jesus. Somebody was mad. Oh my god, dude.
And I needed you to nail that on one take, so we had to get the teleprompter. I think we had that for that.
Yeah, it was the teleprompter. Yeah.
I kept rewriting that. I was just like, I wrote down, I punted a baby.
Yeah, there was like four. You had like four different versions, or like three different versions of that. I think that we went through.
No, it was fun though. That was
solid. That was fun. Totally.
That was solid. And with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe to the page as we talk about the banality of life. Dimitri says, "I am handsome in death span."
Yeah, bro.
Yo.
Man.
Dimitri, when you were on the fucking green screen and he had to we were trying to light it so that he could be like, that's hilarious.
It worked.
All right. Well, Mr. Jayce Venditti, we're at 2 hours and 60 minutes. I have one last bit for you. You have been the man here. And I want to thank everybody that's checked in to the videos. Make sure that you guys are following Jayce Venditti all across different platforms, so that you can fucking keep up with all the shit that he's doing, man. What's going to happen? Is he going to produce a $40 million sitcom for Netflix in New Mexico with me guest directing 3 episodes? Who knows?
Oh shit, bro.
I don't know, man. We're putting out to the universe. Jayce Venditti, 2021. We gotta be working on a movie or show for one of the major 5 streaming platforms in 2021. Let's get that out there with some positive energy and make it happen. But you love Sylvester Stallone. You love Vin Diesel. You love The Rock. So our bracket bit for today, even though it did a Who Did It, this is actually going to be a blood massacre between Rock movies, Vin Diesel movies, and Rocky movies, all right?
Okay.
I'm going to give you 2 movies. You tell me which one moves on to the next round. Now, your prerogative and your criteria can be whatever you want it to be. But when I put this together, you're basically picking which one of these 2 movies you would like to you could less live without, right? Basically,
less live without.
Or basically, if one of these movies didn't have to exist, which one would be the one that you would want to continue to exist? Okay.
Okay.
All right, you're going back. You're going to standing. Okay. All right. Are you intimidating me? Because you're
My phone's it's about to die, so I had to plug
All
it in.
right. You know what? I got a standing desk too, Jayce. I can stand up too. Think you're cool? Yeah. You think I can't do a stream
Let's
standing
go.
up, Jayce?
Yes.
All right.
Final showdown.
All right. Final showdown. I am using my standing desk, courtesy of Time Neighbor. He's a homeboy. Look me up. But we are now fucking standing. All right. I ain't no punk, Jayce Venditti. You're gonna show me up by standing up on my stream. Like, look at me, I'm standing. I can stand too. This is how I work during the day.
Okay, in all honesty, my leg was falling asleep, so I had to.
Okay, no, but in all honesty, I'm supposed to stand anyway. But I literally have a standing desk here because this is how I work. All right, so I'm gonna give you 2 movies. You tell me which one moves on. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, this is called Bracket. Oh wait, I don't have the music, but Kurt made us a beat, and it goes bracket. Bracket. All right, never mind. We'll use it next time. We'll use it tomorrow. Fuck, I didn't get that ready. Pissed off at myself. Next time. All right. Actually, do I have it? I have it right here. No, give us 1 second. Give us one. Everybody. They haven't tuned out yet. They can wait another 2 seconds. I just want
1 second, right? 2 seconds, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, we're done. Actually, you know what? All right, never mind. I thought I could find it. All right, here it is. Bracket bit, Jayce Venditti. We are going to go Stallone versus Vin Diesel movies versus The Rock. So most of these are Rocky, right? So obviously number 1 seed is Rocky. We got Rocky going up against Pitch Black.
Rocky.
Rocky's got to move on. I know it's a tough first round. Some of them are less than the other. Right. We got the Lords of Flatbush. That was one of the original indie Sly Stone flicks, and we have
that's right.
And we have Baywatch.
Yeah, Sylvester's killing it. Lords of Flatbush.
Lords of Flatbush. All right, Sylvester Stallone again. The Expendables. Your boy Vin was in a movie called The Last Witch Hunter.
Last Witch Hunter.
Last Witch Hunter moves on.
Yeah.
Now, The Rock had a. This is my favorite part. The Rock was in. He was in a movie called Be Cool, which is like the sequel to Get Shorty. Right.
Yeah.
And he played the.
That was before he was like the Rock, like
the Rock,
the big superstar. Yeah.
And then this is also in honor of.
God damn.
Turn the hat to the back.
Over the Top. That's the.
Over the Top. That was the arm wrestling movie. That's why I turned the hat to the back.
Yeah.
I used to turn the hat to the back. So Be Cool or Over the Top.
Over the Top.
Underrated Sly classic where he has to get people out of a tunnel that collapses, Daylight, or one of Vin's best, Riddick, Chronicles of.
Riddick.
Sly Stone played a cop with hearing loss in Copland. Underrated gangster movies from back in the day. And then The Rock did play a cokehead, steroid-using gangster in Pain and Gain.
I'm going to go with Pain and Gain on that one. I'll go with Pain and Gain.
Stallone taking 2 back-to-back losses. All right. Stallone tried his hand at comedy. Stop or my mom will shoot.
Oh, my God. How he got ruined on that movie by fucking Schwarzenegger. That was great.
Stop or my mom will shoot. Or Hobbs and Shaw.
Honestly, Hobbs and Shaw killed it for me. So I'm going to have to go with Hobbs and Shaw.
All right. We got The Pacifier. Vin Diesel in a tutu. Or Judge Dredd. I feel like The Rock did a babysitter movie as well, right? Didn't he do?
He did. He did. Fuck, he did. Yeah, he did. This is gonna have to be. Oh God, this one's actually tough for me. Judge Dredd or. You know what? Because it's out of his comfort zone. Pacifier.
I like Daylight, Kenny. I'm like, he's like, you gotta watch Daylight again. The Pacifier.
Yeah.
All right, Pacifier. All right. Here is one of the sliced classics from the 80s, Cobra versus pretty decent by remake standards, Jumanji.
It was, but you know what? Jumanji 2 is better. If it was Jumanji 2, I push that forward. But in this one, I'm going to push Cobra forward.
Well, in all these formats, just so you know, like when I say like we pretty much like for Fast, I only put Fast. Obviously, I wasn't going to put like Fast 1, Fast 2, Fast 3.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it is the Jumanji franchise versus Cobra, not just Jumanji.
Then Jumanji.
Jumanji? All right, cool. I gotta be. Even though Cobra would be my pick, you're going with Jumanji. I got to give you all the information. And again, this is the Fast franchise here.
I will never. Nothing to me will beat the Fast franchise. So got to put Fast franchise forward.
This is what this is about. All right. Cliffhanger, underrated Stallone movie.
Still a great film. Yeah, great film.
Still good, but you're going up against Fast here. Assassin, Sylvester Stallone plays an assassin. One of my favorites on the list, Boiler Room.
Yeah, Boiler Room, 100%.
Boiler Room is Vin Diesel is really,
He does it. He does it.
All right, Tango and Cash or Walking Tall.
Tango and Cash is a classic to me, but I thought Walking Tall was a pretty good.
Walking Tall is a decent movie.
Yeah, both Walking
Tall.
Yeah.
All right, Walking Tall. Another comedic to take by Stallone, Oscar or Knockaround Guys.
I fucking love Knockaround Guys. I'm a huge
Knockaround Guys. Knockaround is a good movie. Demolition Man. This is a tough one for round one. Demolition Man or Triple X.
Triple X.
Triple X. Demolition Man is a classic, buddy.
It is though. It is.
That would have gone the other way for me, but Talking about soccer, talking about Sylvester Stallone, underrated movie. Sylvester Stallone plays a prisoner of war in a soccer game against Germany. Really, I love sports movies. Victory is a really good one if you want to go on a. And then we have Vin Diesel in a short but powerful. Short, right? Demolition Man all day, right, Ken? Short but powerful performance in Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan is probably the bigger movie. Victory is an underrated Stallone movie.
If he was a bigger role in Saving Private Ryan, I'd push that forward. But I'll go with Victory on this one.
Victory. It's got soccer and Stallone. How can Jayce say no to that? It's a tough one. All right, we're almost done with the first round. We got the Tooth Fairy versus Rambo.
God, honestly, that's fucking hard because the Tooth Fairy was fucking hilarious.
That's the Rock
but
one,
you
right?
know what? But you can't beat Rambo. Okay. Rambo, like the final out. I don't know if it's gonna end up being it, but the final should be Rambo and the Fast franchise.
We'll see. This is the bracket. The bracket will reveal all in time.
Yeah.
All right. Rocky versus the Lords of Blackbush. We're moving faster this time.
Rocky, 100%.
The Last Witch Hunter or Over the Top?
Last Witch Hunter.
Riddick or Pain and Gain?
Riddick.
Hobbs and Shaw or The Pacifier?
Hobbs and Shaw.
Jumanji or the Fast franchise?
Fast.
Boiler Room or Walking Tall? They get tougher.
Boiler Room.
Boiler Room. That would have been my pick. Knockaround Guys or Triple X?
Knockaround Guys.
Victory or Rambo?
Rambo.
Or Knockaround Guys?
Rambo or Knockaround? Oh, Rambo.
Oh, that was a close one. Rambo gets through.
That's a close one. Yeah.
Fast and Furious franchise or Boiler Room? Fuck. See, this is where I get off. This is where I get off. This is where I get off. This is where I get off on Fast, buddy. I know you love it, but Boiler Room to me is the superior movie. But it is the entire Fast franchise versus Boiler Room, and it's Jayce's choice. It's not my choice. This is Jayce's. I gotta tell him
I'll go with Boiler Room on that. Fuck it.
You're going with Boiler Room. Boiler Room upsets the franchise.
Yeah.
Boiler Room moves on through. I don't know if I had anything to do with that, but we'll see. Riddick versus Hobbs and Shaw.
Riddick.
Rocky. Last Witch Hunter. Rocky's had a pretty easy
Rocky.
Rocky's got, but it is the number one seed. It's looking like it's going to come down to the last four. Rocky versus Riddick.
Rocky. I hate to say it.
Boiler Room versus Rambo.
Fuck. Boiler Room.
Boiler Room's a good movie, man. Boiler Room's a good movie. Now, you thought it was going to be Fast versus Rocky or Rambo versus Rocky, but the bracket reveals multiple secrets. So here it is. Jayce Venditti, we've talked about your life as a soccer player, an actor, an activist, a humanitarian, a producer, a writer, a vegan, a boy band member.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on the show, man.
No, man. Fuck, this was fun. I want to do this again. I totally want to do this shit again. This is fun.
But the choice is yours in the bracket of Stallone versus The Rock versus Vin Diesel. We have Boiler Room with one of Vin Diesel's best performances. I think it's I worked in a call center for a long time, so it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Versus an absolute classic movie where a spunky Italian guy said, "No, you know what? I'm gonna make my movie the way I want to make it." Rocky versus Boiler Room. The choice is yours.
I gotta go with Rocky.
Rocky. That's why they have a fucking statue.
That's why they have a fucking statue.
Sorry, Boiler Room, but that's why they have a fucking statue of the guy.
I'll take a screenshot of this right now. I have a screenshot of that. I have to go back and look on that and see if I was a good boy to all my guys.
That's why I'm sorry, Boiler Room. You fought a fair fight. You got through fucking Rambo. You got through the Fast and Furious franchise.
Fast was a lot.
You got through the Fast and Furious franchise. You got through
Fast.
Jumanji.
The funny thing, Fast would have beat Rambo, but it couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't let it beat Boiler Room.
Yeah, Boiler Room though. If you're talking about your boy Ben Diesel and probably his seminal role that's not in the Fast franchise, and where
I'm surprised you didn't have not Man on Fire. What's the A Man Apart?
I don't know. It was I got to make choices. I got to make tough choices sometimes.
Yeah. Have you seen A Man Apart?
I think so.
You got to see. If you haven't, you got to look into it.
Jayce, I pick the bracket. You solve it. That's the way this bit goes.
Okay.
All right, man. Well, we've said it all. I appreciate you taking the time to come today, man. Follow Jayce on his adventures. I'm sure we'll be talking. We can do this any other time you want, man. This has been a Big Chief Burrito. Tomorrow on the stream. Remember, Facebook.com/2am Burrito. Follow us so you get notified when we go live. If you game, follow Hero Team Ken on Twitch. He games all the time. Follow me, twitch.tv/2am Burrito. YouTube.com/2am Burrito. You can see some of the projects me and Jayce have been on together. You can catch up on all the streams, etc. And also Podbean for the podcast. And then 2 a.m. Burrito Podcast. The 2 a.m. Burrito Podcast on Google Podcast, on Spotify, on Pandora, where not iTunes, anywhere except iTunes where you get your podcasts. We are there, so check us out. Jayce, your last words, man. Wait, are you still there?
What'd you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait.
I'm kidding. I heard you.
Who's Jayce's favorite actress? I don't know.
Holy shit. Hold on. I'll give you something here. Charlize Theron is up there. I'm gonna say right now before I can think off the top of my head, Charlize Theron.
Charlize is a beast.
She's a beast. She's pretty phenomenal. I was actually just watching her today. Yeah, she's pretty amazing.
All right, brother. Thank you, Marguerite. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everybody else that joined us. Make sure that you look for Sarah Moore Fitness on Facebook or Instagram, and follow Jayce on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, IMDb, wherever it is you follow people like him. Be healthy. Look out for him in movies. Follow us on the stream. As always, when Jayce does something, we'll have him on live, brother.
Oh, yeah.
We did 2 hours, 32 minutes, babe.
Damn. That was
2.5 hours. Hey, I was wondering, this is like Joe Rogan and his MMA buddies.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. Yeah, now I see how that shit goes by like that.
All right, brother. We'll do it again anytime you want, man. All right, everybody.
Definitely, brother. Sounds like a
peace.